A very good afternoon to all of you, especially my big brother Satish sir, a very learned speaker Vikas sir, Parul madam, and the back technical team. कहते हैं कि जो बीत गया वो पास्ट है, that we cannot change it. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. If you want to change the ending, then we have to improve present only. आज का जो हमारा वेबिनार है एग्जैक्टली इसी टॉपिक के ऊपर है, एग्रीगेशन एंड कोलैबोरेशन अनलॉकिंग ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर सीए फर्म्स। प्रैक्टिस जब शुरू हुई थी तब उसके मायने अलग थे, लेकिन आज की जो इकोनॉमिकल चैलेंजेस है उसमें आज की टाइम में एकजुट होना बहुत जरूरी है, एग्रीगेशन होना बहुत जरूरी है। एंड वी आर वेरी मच थैंकफुल टू द आईसीआई हु हैज फॉर्म्ड अ न्यू कमिटी स्पेशली फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द मेंबर्स calling aggregations of CF firms. And we are again fortunate enough that our big brother Satish sir is the chairman of that committee. So I once again welcome Satish sir, welcome विकास गोलचा सर। दो लाइनों के साथ मैं सतीश सर को इनवाइट करूंगा, क्योंकि सतीश सर को बिना लाइनों के इनवाइट करना ऐसा लगता है कि मजा नहीं है। शब्दों में जिनके अनुभव की मिठास है, विचारों में जिनके सफलता का विश्वास है, आज की सभा में उनका हार्दिक अभिनंदन है, क्योंकि उनकी उपस्थिति हम सभी के लिए बहुत खास है। उनकी उपस्थिति हम सभी के लिए बहुत खास है। With this, I briefly read out the introduction of our learned speaker. I'm audible, na?
Audible, sir?
Yes, okay, okay. CS Satish Kumar Gupta is currently serving as the chairman of the key committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, including aggregation of CF firms and international taxation, and is also the vice chairman of the Board of Studies Academic. He has previously held several leadership positions within ICI, including roles in CPE, UDIN, and Committee for Members in Practice, and has served as a council member from several years. His contributions span areas such as professional development, taxation, and capacity building. He has also led prominent professional bodies and regional branches, earning recognitions for his leadership and service. A seasoned speaker and author, his expertise including income tax matters, assessment, and professional skill development. He is widely respected for his commitment to strengthening the profession and mentoring members across the country. और सबसे बड़ी बात, he is a very good person and my big brother and very good leader. With these words, I would like to invite our council members and chairman of this committee, C.A. Satish sir. Sir, please.
Thank you, brother. Thanks a lot, Navin bhai. Thanks a lot. I know the affection and love you people have with me, and that's the only reason which you are speaking like this. But I know you are also a wonderful person. Vikas Golecha ji, learned speaker of the day. Parul Goyal, very efficient and very proactive secretary of the committee. Team Tech, Team Aggregation, and my dear friends who are attending this webinar today. I am thankful to each one of you and I welcome each one of you in this webinar, which is number 11 webinar in our series of scaling your CFR. And the topic is only aggregation or collaboration or networking or merger. And the purpose is also very much clear that if you want to stay in the competition or rather in the future competition of the profession, or you want to get a good amount of work, good size of audits, good size of consultancy work, then we will have to start thinking for aggregation. It does not mean at all that small firms should not exist. Small firms have their own importance, and small firms, if they are satisfied with the performance, with the progress, with the they are satisfied, then there is no need at all to go for the aggregation. But if you have a very specific goal in your mind that yes, I want to do the audit of the big firms, I want to do consultancy work, I want to create a very big brand, then aggregation is the only solution. Aggregation is also important, my dear friends, that because that Government of India has started thinking under the dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to aggregate CA firms of country so our firms can serve not only nation but globally. And for these purposes, they are also trying that a good amount of work, good size of work may be kept, I can say, only for Indian big CA firms. So this is happening. This may happen very soon at the end of the government. And if we are not prepared today, if we don't aggregate today, then we shall be missing something very big, and then a FOMO will be in our mind and in our heart that we have missed a lot of big opportunity of the profession. So we should be very much clear in our mind. If you want to aggregate, then we should start immediately. I would just say tell you that there are six models which have. Out of that, four are working, two are just to work. So four out of these four models, we have one is the merger, where we are getting good progress. In last 1 month, around 218 new mergers have happened. Second one is the aggregation domestic networking model we have. That is also very well accepted by the members, and I hope that that particular networking model shall go a long way, because two of the our big name firms have adopted that domestic networking model, and they are doing very good. And third one is the corporate form of practice, which I am thinking that it's a model which is very unique model, where a chartered accountant can become managing director, executive director, full-time director in a company formed by a chartered accountant, where his relatives or he himself can invest his own money as a share capital, and he can get the remuneration also. And in his practicing firm, he can train the articles, he can do the assurance function also. So for attestation function, we have a firm, or for non-attestation or advisory function, we have a corporate form of practice, which is called the management consultancy company, where we can do all type of those services. So this is, and if you go through the definition of 224, thereafter notification of ICI, what services are allowed to chartered accountant in other services or management services, you will find, my dear friend, that there is a lot of opportunity for the profession, lot of opportunity. Even whatever, and there is a lack of awareness on our part also. We are not awareing our members very much, and if we are also sending mail there, those are not being opened by the but committee is going to start awareness program very soon, where we will inform uh, our all members, all members in practice, what we have in our treasure at the committee, what models we have, how those model works. So we are working on that, and we shall start very soon. So there is a big opportunity in corporate form of practice also. And fourth one is the LLP aggregation. LLP aggregation is also very important, and a very new thing which was brought to the our aggregation guidelines. I think last year only, and now we have started accepting physical applications for LLP aggregation. So if any one of you is interested, that can go through, and they can talk to the secretariat also. And details, I'm not telling you the details, what are the benefits, what are the conditions of merger, etc., because that will be taken care by the Vikas Golecha ji. I'm just trying to aware you that this is the thing which we should take care of now, and if we are really interested in aggregation, we should start it immediately. We should start it immediately, because this is the need of the hour. One more thing I want to tell you, my dear friends, that ICI has started thinking to deregulate the consultancy segment, or I can say non-assurance segment. It has not been approved. It is in the, I can say, initial talks, but they have started thinking. And it is just because we want to provide a level playing field to our members in the area of consultants. So just understand this particular initiation of ICI also, if it happens, then it is going to be a very big change in the policies of the ICI. And I think members should feel very good after that deregulation if it happens. So this is, we are trying a lot for that. So this is also a point which should be considered. Second thing, which is more important, my dear friend, succession. You see, I would tell you two, three figures. The average age of proprietorship firms is 55 years. My member average age is 55 years of the age. So have that member is planned for succession. What will happen after him or her? This is a very big question, my dear friends. We should be in your mind that what after me? Suppose I own a partnership, a proprietorship firm, and I'm no more, then who will take care of my practice, my family? And if there is need, there is a gross need of my family to have some funds of the firm, to have some continuous work. That is very important. So succession planning should also be a criteria for taking a decision of aggregation. So it will create a succession planning also. And there are issues. I know, I'm aware that बहुत सारे, आई वुड लाइक टू टेल इन हिंदी कि मेरी फर्म को बड़े लोग जब्त कर लेंगे, मुझे कुछ पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, मेरी फर्म का नाम का क्या होगा, और मेरे उसका एम्पनलमेंट का क्या होगा. ऐसे बहुत सारे देर आर सेवरल क्वेश्चंस इन आवर माइंड. बट बिलीव मी फ्रेंड्स, वी हैव द मॉडल, एंड दैट मॉडल्स take care of all your concerns, subject to what do you want. So what I want to make a request, that please, just if you are really interested to do some big work, do some good work, to create a brand value of your firm, then please come forward and start thinking, start executing aggregation. This is my simple message to each one of you. And whatever you have in your mind, let me know. And I think you are aware of the figures that around 70% of the total firms are proprietorship firms. Thereafter, 24% of total firms are around two, three partner firms. So 94% are the small firms of the in our country. Only 6% are the big firms. And if you talk about 50 or more partner firm, then only 14 firms out of 1 lakh firms are existing in our country. 14 firms. And if any scheme, any I can say initiation comes out of government, so primary beneficiaries will be those 14 firms or first 300 firms. So what I want to say, my dear friend, that don't leave this opportunity and try to think of the aggregation. Trust, yes, trust is the base of the any aggregation. So you must feel that how trust can be created or maintained in between us, and it is very easy to maintain. It is very easy to maintain because now there is no cash economy in our profession, or if it is even there, it is very on its very small size. So because after the initiation of government of India, the all the payments are through banking channel or through the UPI mode. So things are changing. So we should also start thinking for the aggregation. Nothing, no much time because Vikas is there, and I know that he is going to tell you a lot about the aggregation, about the consolidation, and several new ideas he is going to give all of us. So I think we should listen him, we should hear him very carefully, and you should note down the points shared by the Vikas ji. And whatever question thereafter you have asked with Vikas, if it's still unanswered or you are not satisfied with his answer, you may please connect with the secretariat of the aggregation committee under the leadership of Parul Goyal, who is sitting here. You can see her face also. So under her leadership, you will never feel unanswered because she is very dynamic secretary, and she takes care of all the queries, all the questions. You can ask anytime any question through mail, and see you will get the answer also. So with this, friends, thank you very much for coming and for joining this program. And I must thank Naveen Bhai again because it is very tough. Naveen Bhai, I understand you are very busy chartered accountant and sparing time for the profession. I'm hats off to you, sir. And thank you, Vikas Bhai, for sparing your valuable time also. Over to Naveen Bhai. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आई मस्ट से अब नारों की नहीं प्रहारों की जरूरत है और अब कारों की नहीं सवारों की जरूरत है। और यूं हाथ पर हाथ धर कर बैठने से कुछ होगा नहीं, सीए फर्म्स को मिलकर कुछ कर गुजरने की जरूरत है। यही संदेश आपने दिया है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट आवर learned speakers, Vikas Golecha sir. Before that, I will read his brief introductions to the August gathering. CA Vikas Golecha is a fellow chartered accountant, company secretary in the DISA qualified profession with more than 13 years distinguished experience in the indirect taxation, regulatory compliance, governance, and the professional leadership. A nationally recognized GST expert, he is a national faculty with ICI and impaneled expert faculty with the National Academy of Indirect Taxes and Customs, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. He has delivered more than 700 seminars and webinars across the country and trained more than 30,000 professionals and 400 plus tax officials, making significant contributions to knowledge and capacity building in the field of taxations. He has also served as the chairman. ये बहुत ताजुब की बात है सर, इतना बिजी होने के बाद भी आप रायपुर ब्रांच के चेयरमैन रहे। He has served as the chairman of the Raipur branch and is associated with various professional and policy forums, including the GST Affiliate Tribunal Bar Association, GST Grievance Redressal Committee constituted by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and the GST Technical Advisory Committee of the Chhattisgarh Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Besides this, he is not only a king, he is also a king maker. वो सिर्फ स्पीकर नहीं है बल्कि स्पीकर्स को बनाते भी हैं। विद दिस वर्ड्स आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट सर। आज मेरे पास एक बहुत अच्छी लाइन है आपके लिए, मैं ढूंढ रहा था तो इत्तेफाक से विकास सर के लिए विकास की लाइनें मिली है कि आज की महफिल का विषय भी कमाल है। विकास, सहयोग और विश्वास बेमिसाल है। आइए समझे एग्रीगेशन ऑफ फर्म का सार, जो भविष्य की सफलता का मजबूत है आधार, जो भविष्य की सफलता का मजबूत है आधार। विद दिस वर्ड्स आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट our learned speaker on the aggregation of CF1, CA Vikas Golecha sir. Please.
Very good afternoon to all distinguished guests. First of all, the respected chairman of Committee of Aggregation of CA firms, CA Satish Kumar Gupta sir. In absentia, Vice Chairman CA Sanjay Kumar Agrawal sir. मॉडरेटर ऑफ दिस सेशन, जिन्होंने इतनी अच्छी शेरो शायरी कही, मतलब हमारा भी दिल गदगद हो गया कि किस तरीके से वो अपने चीजों को डिलीवर करते हैं। रेस्पेक्टेड सीए नवीन वागरेचा सर, Parul ma'am, secretary of this committee, and all the distinguished fellow members who have joined this webinar. तो एक लाइन से मैं भी स्टार्ट करता हूँ कि भाई कहाँ से स्टार्ट करें। सो मंजिलें तो मिल ही जाएगी भटक कर ही सही, मंजिलें तो मिल ही जाएगी भटक कर ही सही, गुमराह तो वो है जो घर से निकले ही नहीं। सो बेसिकली व्हाट वी वांट टू से कि अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू टेक द फर्स्ट स्टेप। हमेशा बेसिकली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द एग्रीगेशन ऑफ फर्म, वी आर कंसर्न विद द इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटी। हमको लगता है कि हमारा नाम कहीं छुप जाएगा, ठीक है, और हमको वो डर के कारण हम कभी आगे बढ़ना नहीं चाहते। 2013 बैक व्हेन आई वाज आल्सो जॉइन वन फर्म, वो 81 की फर्म है, ऑलरेडी वी हैव जॉइन। सो हमको ये था कि थॉट प्रोसेस की अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू मेक द बिग। तो जो बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटीज है हम उससे वंचित रह पाते हैं अगर हम प्रोप्राइटरशिप, जैसे सर ने कहा कि इतनी सारी फर्म प्रोप्राइटरशिप में कर रही है। सो दे आर सर्विंग वेरी एमएसएमई, स्मॉल एमएसएमई क्लाइंट्स। और आज की डेट में जो रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंसेस हैं, इट्स वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट एंड स्ट्रिंजेंट। मतलब कोई व्यक्ति, कोई प्रोफेशनल ये कैटर नहीं कर सकता कि वो जीएसटी में भी प्रैक्टिस कर ले, इनकम टैक्स में भी प्रैक्टिस कर ले, कंपनी लॉ में भी प्रैक्टिस कर ले। तो इट इज टफ टाइम। मतलब अल्टीमेटली यू हैव टू बी अ स्पेशलाइज्ड पर्सन इन एनी प्रोफेशनल फील्ड, then only you can survive with a day out। जिस तरीके से रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंसेस बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, एक्शंस होते आ रहे हैं, तो यू कैन नॉट कैटर द क्लाइंट फॉर ऑल द फील्ड्स। तो अल्टीमेटली यू हैव टू स्पेशलाइज। So now there is a come for the concept for aggregation and there is scope for aggregation. I'll share my PPT. Then we'll start with this. Sir, is this visible, sir? Yeah. So we'll start how we can first we should have one food for thought how we should go. This is a small session roadmap what we will serve in this session. First, why aggregate? What is the need for an aggregate? Why it is a must have today in the to be relevant for the practice. Second, models of collaboration. Recently, Satish sir also explained how the ICI is doing for the models for collaborations for the CA firms. Third is unlocking growth. Fourth is what is a pitfall or how to avoid. Fifth is action framework. What action should we take for this proceeding to going forward for the aggregation of firm? First, why aggregation? Because the Indian profession nowadays, the what we want to achieve as a country is the biggest economy of the by 2047 we want to build a Viksit Bharat, and we want ki we should be in the top three world economy in terms of GDP. So who will be the torchbearer? The chartered accountants are the financial soldier of this field. So we need a chartered accountant firms. Generally, we see the majorly of the listed company and the big giants of the are catered by the big four, so-called big four of the world. But recently, the chief prime minister of the country has said that we need Indian big four, big eight to cater them because they don't have any option. That's why they are bound to give to a task to them because we have the 1 lakh firms but very small size. Not have knowledge is not the constraint. The scale is the constraint. So basically, they don't have any such scale to serve or cater the big organization or listed company or government organization. So that's where they have to go to big four only. So capability is not the solution. We have to scale our operations, scale our scalability, and across geographically, across domain, and expertise in every domain. That's why the concept of why aggregation is required. So as countries going forward a developed nation, so we need a strong financial soldiers who are chartered accountants to join hands with their specialized skill sets and scatter the big organizations who are coming to in India, and they need a specialized solutions for their professional work and to manage their books of accounts, provide them value-added services or etc. All the services they need to grow their business. So now, as we see, tier two cities are the new growth path where the India is going. So all the tier two cities, we have a need for a specialized firm who can, because every businessman is looking for a one-point solution for all the specialized work also. So even for the big corporate, we are coming for any firm. We want a specialized GST person, specialized income tax, specialized audit person, specialized project finance person, and all those segments. So if he has an option available, then he can go for it. Right now in tier 2 city, what we see, some person is specialized in say income tax, some person is specialized in GST, and so the business community has to go to separate persons for each task. So it will be avoided if we can work out in the small city level also. If we can aggregate the firm that would have a different knowledge set and different goodwill for particular subject matter, we can collaborate on aggregate our firm. It can be an easy point of solution for any particular client, and we can have a multiple. For example, I have connected with 50 odd clients and you have connected with 50 odd clients. We can cross sell our services also. So if we are good in income tax, we can cross sell a GST expert in our team. We can cross sell our GST, project finance, and other sorry internal audit, statutory audit. So this can be done. So this is why it's a need and hour to have aggregation of firms now. So here are some of the examples why we should aggregate. First is the beat scale limitation. So solo small firms large mandates to big four scale is barrier, not skill. So we have a specific skill set, but to scatter the large organization, we need have a big organization structure also, big partners also, big team also to cater that need. So to scale the limited, we have to scale our operations so that only we can cater to the big organization and their needs. Because for example, any company having branches across India, we want to get the audit assignment of that company, so we need a presence of across the nation where their branches are. We need a team size to cater them. We should have expertise to answer any specific or general query for them. So we need this type of case. We want to scale limitations. So we should right now, because we have a regional or when city level presence only, we're not getting that multi-state presence or multinational companies as our client. Second, share infrastructure. Since we are, for example, 10 firms are working independently, have a different infrastructure altogether, so it's a costly affair. If we can join hands, we can share the technology, we can afford office, we can have a good common office space, we can have a shared cost, and we can also basically use certain software which individually we cannot take, but at a group level we can work on. So this can if increase our efficiency and effectiveness also as a firm. So shared infrastructure is also one of the advantage. We should go for aggregate. Third, pool specification. So basically, just what I am saying that right now, generalized practice is no longer a future for our profession. If you want to do get all the basically one business is wanting GST, income tax, audit, and all. So you cannot give a good quality services. Somehow you will stuck because the law right now is very complexities in every law. Even just like right now, I am practicing only in GST, not any single audit or income tax, because I have identified that unless you have command over subject, you cannot survive larger than that. So we can have a full specifications, right? So one is practicing GST, FEMA, audit, transfer pricing. No single partner can master all. So we have a partner all the across the all segment we have partner. So it will be comfortable for big company also that we get all the services in single room. So they don't have to travel across the different firms. So this is also one of the advantage. We should go for the aggregation of firms. Talent and succession. Right now, because small firms are not getting the talents from the industry. For example, new chartered accountant get into the industry, they look after the big firm as an option. When we see any proprietor, they see the lack of infrastructure, lack of a good client, any significant bigger client. That's why they prefer the company which having a bigger size, bigger clients. Then only he can go. So if we have a scalable size, it's visible to everyone. So talent acquisition should not be any hurdle for that also. So branding of the firm or CA presence and the presence of the fund and the clientele which they are catering. Also look by the new fresher chartered accountant who are entering into the industry. So this will also not a problem for that. So if we have a good firm, we can have that talent and succession planning also for our firm. Win larger mandates. Generally, we see when we look at the tenders of the big PSUs or CB assignment or government tenders, so we see that lots of qualification criteria are there. For example, most firm must have 15 partners, firm must have such turnover, firm must have presence in different geographical locations, firm must have type of number of skilled staffs and manpower articles and all. So this is all this can work can only be given to the firm who meet this criteria, who then only can participate in that tender or what. So if we are proprietor, even for a bank audit also, that a partnership firm is minimum required. Even right now, even we are the proprietors are facing tough difficulties to get the bank audit assignment also, because even for the concurrent audit, say example for bank concurrent audit, so they are mandating that there should be a partnership from 3 or 4 partners. These are qualified, concurrent with experience or what. So this can be possible only when aggregation is done. So to cater these large assignments which have a qualification criteria or eligibility criteria, technical qualification is required to participate in the financial bid also. So we should lead for a collaboration aggregation so that we can meet that criteria to participate in the such tenders or such big assignments. Regulatory credibility. Now, since the ICI merger and aggregation for guidelines are there to help us to regulate. Previously, we have the confusion how to go with it. What are the hurdles which we can face as a individual? What are liabilities on individual partners? So right now, ICI also is aggressively working on that. Keep merger aggregation guidelines are there to help us to know how we can cater this need. What are the regulatory challenges we have? How we can collaborate with each other? What are the ways we can collaborate, what are the limitation and liability limitation which each partner can have. So these are the guidelines which will be helpful for us to cater the needs of these bigger assignments. So regulatory is also backing us for this work key aggregation and merger of the firms. Next. So next is the model of collaborations. What are the model of collaboration we can work first? So recently, when we start our entry level, we can start with a referral model. For example, if you have any connection with any client on local level or in a different city. For example, you have a client having presence of 4 states, right? So if you get the assignment, you are in, for example, Rajasthan, and you want any person ki bhai, GST assignment is there in Chhattisgarh. So you can have a one contact person there who can work for you. So if we can have a referral fees model for them. So this is the entry level for going forward for aggregation of firms. So you can start collaborating with the person, get the feedback, get the solution, get the good experience that he is doing well. Then you can collaborate with. So start with a referral model. So in informal fee structure arrangement, zero structure or legal change. Ideal first step builds trust. Each firm retains full independence. So this is the model we can start with. So to gain the confidence over the other partner that he has a skill set or not, he can cater your needs or not, or he can handle your client assignment in that region or not. So you first start with the referral model. So this can work Basically to get the understanding of the level of quality of that professional to whom we have referred the work. And if you after two or three assignment, you will get the confidence. Yes, he is a trustable person. He can execute the transaction. Even the client has been satisfied with his services, and now you can move forward for further process of the consortium or aggregation and all. So start with the referral network. Second, consortium or association, shared brand and pitch capability. Now you can move forward for a second phase when you can have work under a single brand name or a umbrella, separate profit and loss, low conflict risk, best for winning large tender jointly, can bid for PSU and government mandates. So यहाँ पर आप basically अपनी firms को merge कर लीजिए in a single brand name. Then to because you have already got the confidence in the referral network, now you can collaborate and participate in the bigger tenders which can be work for you, even for bank assignments, other PSU assignments, or government assignment, even private companies nowadays look for the experienced firm. So experience in the even the reach, because for example, multi-state present company, we want that your professional, your team person should be present in different locations to cater to their needs. So you can work for the association of firm. Now the ICI networking network firm. So basically now ICI also come with networking guidelines, aggregation guidelines. So you can plan accordingly how we can work with a different identity of a individual firm. We can also have a network of firms. So we to cater any big assignment serve any bigger clients. Virtual CA office. It is also one modern concept, virtual CA office, where we cloud with shared or workflow portal is there. Distribute team city agnostic. We distribute the assignments, CST, ROC, compliance work, and basically we cater the virtual CFO. We serve the company. For example, a company want the services. We have a network of, for example, professionals. Basically, is sitting on the different geographical locations. But we can, since all the assignments and the compliance that right now is going digital, so we can cater, for example, all the MCA, ROC work can be done digital, all the GST work can be done digital, even all the income tax now faceless assessment is there. So we can serve for different clients to this modern also. So virtual or tech enabled also is the one of the way when we can collaborate and serve as a virtual CFO services to the clients. And without any limitation of the geographical location, we can cater across the country. Any person who want to our services, we can render with our digital presence. And full merger is the biggest last one, the biggest option we have. After we are understanding of all the models, we can have a big merger of different firms having different presence, different geographical presence, different skill set presence, different approach presence, even different infrastructure presence. So we can have highest reward, highest execution risk, needs goodwill and valuation and MOU, client consent and ICA approval required, clear profit sharing, formalized essential. So we have to build SOP for that full merger. We can have a guidelines of ICI also to help us how to get merger of different firms so that we get the benefit out of it. But the basic hurdle is that we should uh, avoid for our independent individual names there. So we should have a one brand name under which we all are confident to work. No individual entity should be there in the top of the firm. So it should be under one brand name, and there under the different firms will work and execute the assignments. It will cater the needs of for the bigger assignment we want to serve. Uh, Unlocking growth. Revenue streams that only scale can access 3x, 5x revenue. We can definitely we can scale. For example, we are catering, for example, I am serving only GST. If we get a good partner of income tax, project finance, so we can basically cross sell our products also. So we can serve, propose other solution to our existing client also, that we can serve for statutory audit also. We can serve for internal audit also. We can do project finance work also. We can serve work compliance of the ROC compliance also. So it can increase your revenue also. So after when we collaborate with each other, 3x, 5x revenue is very normal. Even for example, for bigger assignment, for example, railway and all, there's a not lot more threshold requirement. 500 crore is a higher number. Even for the local tender in Chhattisgarh, we see that the turnover requirement is around 5 to 10 crore minimum turnover of the professional firm. How we can get, if we have, for example, firm of different part of the country and each are doing 3 to 5 crore turnover, so in aggregate we can have a good turnover to participate in the such tenders. Even 40% of the cost saving for shared infrastructure. We can have a common softwares, common infrastructure in various places. So it can also reduce a significant cost, common admin team, common HR policy, common HR person, so common guidelines. So this can also have a very significant reduction of our cost of the infrastructure we work in. Seven growth levers. So basically, what are the seven growth levers which have cross-sell services? First option we have discussed that, for example, a GST client also need a statutory audit, TDS compliance, CFO advisory, one firm model captures full wallet. So if we have such aggregation where different partners have different skill set, so we can cross-sell over to our existing client. For example, person is doing the only statutory audit, so we can cross-sell that we have a specialized person of GST, we have a specialized person for project finance, we can specialize person for even IPO. Even the IPO is an emerging opportunity, for example, to fundraise. Even IPO is an emerging opportunity for all the professionals here. So if we have a specialized person for that IPO also, so we can help them key that you can come out with the IPO. We have a specialized person in our team to cater that needs. So this is also the cross-selling opportunity for our existing client. Second, basically, levers are the government and PSU empanelments. Everywhere, every organization, every PSU have its own empanelment criteria. If we don't meet that criteria, we are not eligible for that assignments also. So for that also, we need a good, strong team and a strong network of the firm and strong credentials of the firm to participate in the tenders. Third, litigation and opinion revenue. One specialized partner in gested, high court, feed from practice development scale makes this viable. So, for example, recently what we have done is like, for example, gested practice. Example, this is a new avenue opening for chartered accountants across India. We have around 43 branches across India. Even I have tried. That is, I have tie up around 30 to 40 chartered accountants in each the gested as a collaboration that if my client is basically one of my client in Chhattisgarh having presence in different four states. So we have tied up with the four chartered accountants who are specialized in that state. So even having a specialized knowledge also, we can have a collaboration with specialized knowledge also. So we can have a collaboration with all the chartered accountants specialized in GST or tribunal representation practice across the different branches of across the India. So we can collaborate for our clients. For example, their client having a branch in Chhattisgarh, they can refer to me. My client having branch there and litigation arise, we can refer to them. This is also where we can work like to have an advantage of having a specialized knowledge, but with different geographical location also. Faculty and training revenue, national faculty slots, CP, empanelment, institutional MOUs all go to larger and branded entities. So faculty, we can have a good training modules for our members also. We can invest on that in the training module for the new fresher or new joinings in our facilities. So this can also have a cost sharing advantage to us. MSME cluster, advisory, NGO compliance, renewable energy sector, which is too small for solo, right size for a collective. So this type of sector also need a bigger player. For example, we want to cater a client having a like scalable client. For example, even after some scale, they are looking for the big four. Unless you become the big four, your skill or talent will not will serve because he want a scale of operation, scale of person who can cater their needs also. For example, in Chhattisgarh, we belong to a Raipur, a tier 2 city. But what we see when turnover, when a client crosses a turnover 2,000 to 3,000 crore, he look after the national firms who can cater their needs because they have a multi-state presence. They're growing and they must be going for IPO very soon. So they want a bigger fund so they have good brand name and good credentials so that even stakeholders that trust. Even recently, we see that even if any firm going for any company going for IPO, if their statutory auditor is a very bigger and organized player, it also adds value to their credentials also as when they come up for the IPO also. Even the minds of the all the stakeholders who are looking for that IPO. So this also will serve our purpose when we go for the bigger firm model. Pitfalls and how to avoid them. Most aggregation fail not on technical ground but on human ones. The good news, every one of these pitfalls is avoided with the right agreement and honest conversation upfront. The time to have some conversation is being before the first joint invoice, not after. So what are the pitfalls? What are the hurdles to join the networking of the fund? First is the ego and autonomy. Everyone wants its own identity. They want to work. For example, मैं अगर 35 साल से किसी फर्म के साथ नाम से काम कर रहा हूँ, तो we want कि मेरी आइडेंटिटी खत्म ना हो. So that's the problem with this model. So we have to identify, we have to formulate how we can have a common brand name, but have an individual identity also. So define decision rights in writing, use a manageable partner rotational model for this. So we can every partner has an equal right, or for example, proportionate right according to the skill or contribution he are making to that network. So you should avoid the individual identity, and should have a good documented joint document with us, MOU with us, that each partner can rotate for the decision making part also. Second is the profit sharing disputes. Suddenly, for example, it can depend upon the seniority of the firm, organization level, hours of the working, who is doing, who is bringing the assignment, who is executing the assignment. So we can have a separate specific formula and documented that well, because all the big firms you see that they are working under one brand name, you cannot identify the individuals working behind that. So they have a good SOP, standard operating procedure, to serve them. So if we work for that SOP, it will be good win-win for all of them. Clear documentation is required to execute this form. So we can have, for example, aggregation of form. We can have a good proportionation according to seniority of the partner, or the partner who are bringing a new assignment to the firm, partners who are having execution capabilities of the firm. So we can have a document how to divide the revenue which we are earning in a firm level. So if it is well documented, it will be for error free. It will not, individual should not dictate this term. Only the policy should dictate this term. So, unless we have standards, SOP, standard operating procedure, then only we can work for this. So it should be well documented to avoid any future disputes. Client ownership. Somehow, but we see that when one firm is going to aggregation, he come out with say 100 and 200 clients he has. So we should have a clear agreement or MOU that this is the ownership of the owner of these clients, who own the relationship. So we should have a well documented who is the owner of the firm, owner of the client that bringing into the network, and how will they cater, and how what is the share of revenue from that client will be go to the person who is introducing this client. So this should be documented well, so that the client ownership will be should just because the client is coming with a particular name only, not the firm name which is later on formed by the us. So we should have a understanding with the partner that he is coming with some compliance with his. So he should be the owner or accountable to him on behalf of that network. So there should be a clear documentation for this also. Quality inconsistency. Somehow we what we see, and when for example we are serving very good quality to our client, but we have fear that if someone else serve our client, if we not match the quality standard which we follow. So as a joint we should have a common training program, joint peer review protocol, one partner sign off across all offices. So basically, what we can do, we can have a training program for each of our partner. We can have a peer review model for each of the branches. We say, for example, one assignment of the particular branch, other firm can peer review that firm, so that get the quality of object is not to identify the mistakes. Identify object is to basically deal with the what are the lacunas or the or assignments what he's handling. What are the areas which can defame the firm goodwill also. So to get away with that, we need a partners who can basically have a quality consistency across the firm, across the network, across the geographical location we serve. So we in this way we can cater that we can have partners who can look after the assignments. We can have a peer review protocol that every firm is aware that he had to give the quality services, and some other partner will review his work so that he should be accountable and should be responsible for his assignments. Goodwill valuation. Some recently in the deliberations research said that when a senior partner want to retire or want to have a goodwill, how what is a goodwill valuation? Generally, it ranges around 1 to 1.5x of the gross fee of the transitional year. For example, 2026 we are transition. So transition year, for example, 25-26 balance sheet should be here with a so revenue we can have a goodwill जो firm aggregate कर रही है तो goodwill के हिसाब से उसकी valuation we can do. We can agree the formula, not just the number. So we can aggregate what is the formula for the goodwill, which should be going to the senior partner of the firm according to the revenue, according to the experience, according to the credentials he bring to the network. ICI compliance. So So basically, ICA compliance maybe the hurdle, but now it is with resolved. Various initiatives are taken by this committee, only aggregation of CA firms committee of ICI, is taking lots of guidelines, initiatives. Even they are working the open mind. They are taking feedbacks from all the bigger firms, how to grow forward, how to establish this model in India, how to facilitate all the firms who want to aggregate with each other, how to resolve the issues that they are facing right now. So I say actively working, this committee is actively working to resolve so that review firm name rules, PRC condition, peer review status before filing network registration. So this is to be reviewed, and this can solve our problem. Tech misalignment. Standardize on ERP GST platform before integration. Migration later cost 3x or as much. So before joining hands with other firm, we should have a common understanding what the technicals we are having, what are the GST compliances we are doing. So we have to look after the what are the after merger, what how to GST structure will go with the firm, how which pen we will be working. So we have to work out all the possible technical or grounds or technical issues that can creep in when we join the aggregation of firm. So before joining hands, we should have a proper review of all the arrangements, all the existing arrangements we have, and how it will change after the aggregation of firm. Now, we'll have one 90-day action framework. How should we proceed for a networking of the firm? Knowing is not enough. Here is what to do next week. We basically what we have to do. What are the actions which are expected from me to when we want to join hand as an aggregation with a different firm. What are the basic parameter we should review first 30 days. What we have to do, diagnose first, map your current client base by service, identify cross sell gaps. So what we do here, for example, you are what are the services you are offering to your client right now. For example, the client is so what are the gaps missing in your service chain? So we identify the list of services which client is taking, and what are the services you are rendering, what are the missing gaps, and identify these gaps so that we can move forward for the aggregation. What are the options we want for our firm, and what are the skill set or partners we required for aggregation of the firm to cater the needs which we are not catering to our existing clients. Second, list the mandates you lost or declined in last 3 years. For what capability was missing. Example, you have missed one particular client, particular assignment, particular contract. So what are the limitation? What are the grounds on which you have lost the assignment? So you identify, list out that, and how to basically what capability you need to get that assignment. So after listing all the basically drawbacks in your firm, which are resulting in the basically loss of any good assignment. So after listing out, you can identify the areas where you can improve, and on and moving forward, aggregation of firm, you should look at that areas that can cater that needs because of which you have lost the assignment. Identify 2 3 CA colleagues with complementary specializations. So if you have any specialized areas, example, I have GST, so I should look after the internal audit, who the person is specialized in statutory audit, person look after the statute, basically project finance, person look after the, for example, IPO. So we should have a value addition to our firm. So we should look after the colleagues who can have a diversified skill set or complementary skill set to each other so that we can serve to our existing client the services which currently we are not serving or catering. Some other professional is doing with that. Review ICA network form registration eligibility also before going forward. So this is the first part where we want to diagnose what our existing firm is, how what are the areas where we lack, and how we can cater that lacunas with going forward for the aggregation of the firm. Next, what we have to design. The next slot we have to identify design. Draft a simple MOU with one referral or consortium partner. Agree client ownership protocol and fee share formula in writing. Audit your technology stack, what needs standardization, prepare a SOP for how we work going to execute the work in different local geographical locations and different clients. Prepare goodwill valuation using 1x gross fee benchmark or whatever you feel comfortable after mutual discussion with upon. So this is the second phase where you design the policies of the aggregation of the firm. And the last when third phase, the 61 to 90 days, what we have to deploy. File and update firm registration, issue first joint pitch or tender response under the new brand, schedule quarterly review protocol, assign a coordinator for that, set a 12-month revenue target attributable to the collaboration. So these are the guidelines. These are the broadly what we have categorized how to proceed for the aggregation of the firm. So first, diagnose the issue, how you want to cater. Second, design the framework. Third, execute and see the what are the outcomes of that aggregation of the firm or merger, demerger, or however you join the firm. What are the results of that? So you can proceed and identify the areas where you have improved, or still then you are facing some problem. How to tackle that solution? You can discuss with the partners. You can have a review meeting with the partners to how to resolve what are the issues you are facing with this network. So this is the action plan we can plan for when any firm was looking for aggregation of firm or merging any firm with a bigger firm. So whatever the key takeaways you can take from this webinar. First, the Indian CA profession is not a consolidation inflection point, aggregate or to be consolidated. So even every growing company, every growing economy needs a chartered accountant or professional financial soldiers. But they must be a scalable person, but they must be a skill set to serve. For example, if you get the assignment of say company Adani Group, for example, so you should have an you should judge yourself that you have capability to cater that need or not. If you are not capable, you can't get the assignment also. So first you have to make yourself capable, your firm as a capable to cater that bigger clients, bigger giants, business giants. Even the company, for example, any company coming out, for example, manufacturing plant in outside India or come with the basically investment in India, for example. So you want a partner with a FEMA guidelines so that he can meet all the guidelines, transfer pricing guidelines. So you should have any firm who is capable, partner capable of that or not. So you should identify this partner, then only you can get these assignments only, which has a very value, which create a good value. For example, even right now we are seeing that investment or merger acquisition among companies also. So if we do have a good network of partnership of firms in different geographical sector, for example, you have a client which can be taken over by other giant in different geographical location. So you can have a arrangement with that CA who is catering that client for merger acquisition, transaction advisory. This also field which are huge financial income opportunities there for chartered accounting professionals. So this way only we can work when we have a joint hand with different firms in different geographical location, different special skill set, and different organization capabilities. ICA network chapter provides a regulated low risk pathway. Most firms have not used it. Even right, last 4 5 years, ICA is strictly working on this ICA network guidelines. Even government has a mandate that you should do it, but somehow awareness is missing on the firm level. We are not willing to grow our practice or willing to come out from our individual identity as a firm in particular region. So unless this is the hurdle where we are tripped in, and it is a hurdle for our growth also. So if we have to be an open mindset when we are looking for the aggregation of firm. ICI is day in day out working to have such how even resolving all the issues that are coming when we aggregate going for aggregation of the firm, even in the SSP portal level, even the technical level, even any dispute has been arrived, how to resolve that dispute. So ICI is aggressively working on that area. So you get the full support from ICI as in part of guidelines how to proceed for the aggregation of firm. Even cross-selling alone can generate a 3x, 5x revenue from existing client at a zero acquisition cost. For example, we join, for example, 10 partners in different geographical locations. So we can have a cross-selling opportunity. Even for a single city also, we can have aggregation. If we identify 5 to 7 partners with different skill set, we can definitely have a 3x, 5x revenue aggregation after joining aggregation of firms. Every aggregation withdrawal is solvable, but only the written agreement made before day one. So, but for before joining an aggregation, we should have a written, well documented agreement with all the partners who are joining for aggregation. We should have a clear guidelines or responsibility, who will be responsible for which assignment, how accountability will be worked, how revenue will be shared, what is the share of person who is bringing the assignment to the firm, what is the share of the person who is executing the assignment on behalf of the firm. It should be well documented to avoid any future disputes. So aggregation is possible only when we have well drafted agreement, well drafted standard operating procedure in place. Then it will only work. And we should not have leave any individual mandate or individual partner having influence on that work. we should have a basically well documented document should describe the work, not the individual partner should describe the work, how we will work in the aggregation of the form. Start small, one referral MOU, one joint page, proof of a concept before full integration. So start with the one assignment, then only we can move for the full integration of full assignment. So right now, when I have guided you how to go start with it, you start with one assignment, two assignments, three assignment, gain the confidence over the other partner, other person, other professional, then only go for the merger or acquisition of the firm or tie up with that firm or aggregation of the firm. So without testing, because we should before moving for the aggregation of the firm, we should identify the skill set and the goodwill of that partner which who is catering that, and we can have one or two assignment without any formal arrangement with that. Informally, we can give one or two assignment with free share arrangement, and then see what are the results come, what are the outcomes come. Then we can go for the bigger assignment or bigger aggregation of the fund, and when we can move for a formal structure also. So this is all with a basic discussion point I have. Now I can open for a discussion and the questions any other have. I also have a list of questions we can answer. Uh, I request Naveen sir, please have a question and answer so that we can benefit all. This is only the brief outcome or guidelines we can have as a PPT. Now since it's a practical subject, not a technical subject, we should have a discussion. How what are the areas, what are the challenges we are facing for the aggregation. So we can have a question answer round now for benefit all the participants. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. We have a several questions. I'm audible, sir.
Yeah. Audible, sir.
We have a several questions. First of all, that according to you and according to the mechanism, there are so many mechanisms available, models are available, right? Alliance, networking, LLP, aggregation
Yeah.
of merger.
Yeah.
So the first question is what factor determines whether alliance, network, LLP aggregations, merger would be the most suitable growth model for the particular CA firm? Because CA firms are some are middle, some are small. So what is the mechanism to choose which is the better for my firm?
Right.
Is there any clear-cut mechanism or any clear-cut model?
I think, sir, for example, you have to look what is the basically existing credentials of firm. For example, you have well-established practice, say 30, 40 years. For example, recently what I have seen that one firm in our city, Raipur, right, having 30, 40 years of existence and having a good client base in audit, right? But their client is growing bigger, so they are looking for the bigger firm of opportunity. So that firm has merged into the bigger firm, for example, based in Kolkata. So for that scale, the firm which are already well established in particular area, but they just want to have a good brand name, a good brand presence for their existing client, they can look for a merger option with a bigger firm. For example, a merger will be one of the options with them. Second is the network. For example, network, I think what my view is that network, for example, we go to serve a different geographical location. एग्जाम्पल कि हम मेरे को ऐसा असाइनमेंट मिल रहा है कि जो मल्टीपल स्टेट्स में है सो व्हाट वी कैन
Yes,
डू कि ये पांच छह फर्म है वी शुड हैव इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटी आल्सो बट फॉर पर्टिकुलर असाइनमेंट वी कैन सर्व एज अ नेटवर्क so in that case even the basically the age of the firm or the existing client of the firm doesn't matter, only to handle assignment network can work. That we, for example, if we got the assignment of particular PSU having five states presence, we get the assignment, so we can have a networking with the various firms and we can cater that service and provide the services to the different geographical location. So then in that case networking will work. Even for LLP aggregation is also basically joining heads. For example, even for example contracts, what we see in the government PSU contracts, for example, there is assignment for say around 10,000 crore assignment of construction contract. What they do generally, they tie up with the bigger construction company and local partners joining. So right now also we can work. So in the basically LLP aggregation model, what we can do, we can join hand with the different LLPs and consolidate our turnover, our manpower, our credentials, and participate in the tenders. So this way we can look after for the basically tie up with the different firms. So we should look our existing presence, what are the credentials we have, and what are the assignments we want to cater. Then only we
yes,
can work.
yes. Yes. Next question is mostly in a small city or in mid-sized firms, they have a tendency. It is my client, it is my firm, it is my team. So how they will put this to firm first. Means after merging or after this one networking, we have to put the firm first, then to the client. So this difference, how we can meet out?
Okay. So this is a very the biggest barrier I think can say. This is one of the
Yeah.
biggest barrier कि basically जब हम we get the goodwill, even we get the client on the basis of our individual identity, is individual skill set, in individual relationship we have. So what we
Okay.
can put up before the client also that see we want to increase our capability, we want to increase our quality of service. That's why we are joining. I'll will look after your assignment also in future, but we are working under big umbrella, a bigger firm. So even we have faced certain challenges in that, but we can be resolved when we say that we want to work. We have to lose our individual identity and being a big brand name, and we can communicate to our existing client also. It will not affect. It will improve the services quality of services, not affect our existing relationship with you. So you have a same relationship. The organization level only is changing. The form constitution is only changing, and it will basically improve the quality of services, not affect our existing relationship with the firm. So this way we can tackle with that assignment.
Right, right. Now the very common question and very famous, you know, हर हर दिमाग के अंदर एक ही चीज रहती है कि what should be the commonly revenue sharing model? Because yes, ये ऐसी चीज है जिसके बिना कोई भी चीज शुरू नहीं हो पाएगी. So
हाँ,
क्या ऐसा कोई मॉडल है जो एक we can give the guidelines कि ये रेवेन्यू मॉडल हो सकता है?
यस सर आई कैन सजेस्ट यू. मैंने कुछ बड़ी फर्म्स के साथ मैंने देखा, काम करके देखा मैंने ये. सो व्हाट वी कैन डू, फॉर एग्जांपल, इसमें सब ये मैटर करता है कि कौन बेसिकली वी कैन बेसिकली एक तो पहले रिवेन्यू कितना हो, उसको फिर हम पार्ट पार्ट में असाइन कर लें. फर्स्ट हु विल बी द ब्रिंगिंग द असाइनमेंट. तो जो एक पार्टनर जो है वो जो काम लेके आएगा, सो ही शुड हैव वन पर्टिकुलर शेयर ऑफ. Second partner who will be the executing partner, so he will executing. So we can have for example arrangement around 20 to 25% of the person who is bringing the assignment, 60 to 70% of the revenue the person who is executing the assignment. This can work. So basically largely it range around 20 to 30% for the person who is introducing the assignment or bringing the assignment, and 60 to 70% it will be the goes to the person who is basically executing the assignment. This way basically generally हम देखते हैं कि इस तरीके से वर्कआउट करता है डिफरेंट फर्म्स के साथ में.
राइट, राइट. सर आपको लगता है इसके अंदर ट्रांसपेरेंसी का भी कोई इशू आ सकता है आगे जाके?
सर देखिए जो बेसिकली जो बड़े असाइनमेंट्स को हम कैटर करना चाह रहे हैं ना सर, तो बेसिकली वहां पर एक बड़ी फीस होगी, और वो बेसिकली सब कोई भी उसमें कैश, जिससे सर्विस ने कहा आज की डेट में कोई कैश ट्रांजेक्शन तो है नहीं सर.
नहीं होगा.
तो ऑल
राइट.
पूरा 26 ईयर्स में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है व्हाट इज द फीस वी गेट. सो उसमें उतना पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो कि बड़े हम देखिए जब इंडिविजुअल क्लाइंट हम कर रहे थे तो हम छोटे छोटे क्लाइंट को ऑलरेडी कैटर कर रहे थे. हम ज्वाइंट ही इसलिए कि हम बड़े क्लाइंट को बड़े
करेक्ट.
क्लाइंट को एड्रेस करें. और जब बड़े क्लाइंट को एड्रेस करेंगे तो वो पूरा ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे में ही काम होगा, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे में फीस भी आएगी. तो इट विल बी ट्रांसपेरेंट फॉर ऐसा ऑल ऑफ अस कि भाई कि एक अपन ने बेसिकली अपन ने एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंटर करेंगे, वर्क ऑर्डर हमको मिलेगा कि क्या वैल्यू पे मिला है. तो इट विल बी वेल डॉक्यूमेंटेड, और वो जो फीस भी है बैंक अकाउंट में आएगी, जो सब विजिबल टू ऑल द पार्टनर्स. तो उसमें मेरे को लगता है कि बड़े असाइनमेंट में ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी. इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे जब हम सर्व करते हैं तो प्रॉब्लम आती है, लेकिन हम जो ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं वो इंडिविजुअल क्लाइंट्स के लिए ज्वाइन नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम तो बड़े ऑर्गेनाइज क्लाइंट्स के लिए ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं. तो ये प्रॉब्लम
ओके.
मुझे लगता है नहीं आएगी.
राइट, राइट. सर आपने बीच में भी डिस्कस किया था रिगार्डिंग द डीड्स एंड मतलब जो भी हम वर्क कर रहे हैं वो पेपर पे उसको.
हाँ.
सो इज देयर एनी की डीड्स ये या एग्रीमेंट ऐसा कुछ है, मतलब ऐसा कुछ फॉर्मेट या ऐसा कुछ है जो कॉमनली एक्सेप्टेबल हो? बाकी तो जैसे जिसकी नीड है वो दे कैन ऐड द क्लॉज, दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग. बट ऐसा कोई कॉमनली, जैसे मान लो मुझे नेटवर्किंग करनी है, आई डोंट नो मच अबाउट द फर्म, और लेकिन मुझे ये है कि नहीं आई वांट टू जॉइन द बिग फर्म. तो ऐसा कोई कॉमनली डीड वगैरह ऐसे कुछ इज इट अवेलेबल विद यू?
सर मतलब आई थिंक वी शुड रिफर द गाइडलाइंस ऑफ आईसीआई. आईसीआई जो गाइडलाइंस भी है ना वो एकदम थॉरोली डिजाइन की हुई है, मतलब
ओके.
किस तरीके से उसमें करना है. इवन उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजों को एड्रेस भी किया हुआ है. ठीक है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट बेसिक सा इश्यूज है ना सर. एक तो फर्स्ट इशू इज दैट आइडेंटिटी कैसे रिटेन हो, जो ईच पार्टनर की आइडेंटिटी कैसे रहे. उसके अलावा उसको मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल एवरीवन इज जॉइनिंग हैंड्स टू इंक्रीज देयर रेवेन्यू. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज वो अगर 50 लाख की प्रैक्टिस है, तो वो अगर वो 1 करोड़ की प्रैक्टिस करना चाह रहा है, तो व्हाट इज द रोड वे फॉरवर्ड. तो वो हम डॉक्यूमेंट करें कि भाई कैसे ये अब बढ़ेगा काम. तो अल्टीमेटली क्योंकि जो फर्म वही सर्वाइव कर पाएगी जब एग्जिस्टिंग रिवेन्यू से हम बड़े बड़ा के रिवेन्यू कमाएं, तभी हम वो कर पाएंगे. तो वी शुड हैव अ क्लियर गाइडलाइंस डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कि भाई इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटी कैसे रहे, रिवेन्यू कैसे शेयरिंग हो, और जॉइंट कोलैबोरेशन का क्या आउटकम निकले। तो ये सब चीजें मेन है। और उसको रिवेन्यू शेयरिंग की भी, रिवेन्यू शेयरिंग कैसे होना चाहिए, और भी उसमें ये भी क्लॉज होना चाहिए कि भाई कि अल्टीमेटली नए जो पार्टनर्स ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं उनका क्या इशू, कैसे उनको ज्वाइन करें। फॉर एग्जाम्पल 5 ने हमने जुड़ गए, तो उसके बाद काम बढ़ते गया, तो नए पार्टनर ज्वाइन करो, उनका क्या शेयरिंग रेशियो होगा। कोई एग्जिट करना चाहता है, उसका क्या क्लॉज होगा। तो एग्जिट क्लॉज शुड ऑल्सो बी वेरी क्लियर कि एग्जिट अगर कोई करना चाहता है, कोई पार्टनर किसी कारण से उसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, तो उसके लिए एग्जिट गाइडलाइंस भी क्लियरिटी होना चाहिए। तो शुड बी ट्रांसपेरेंट कि भाई इट्स बेसिकली अगर किसी कारण से नहीं जम पा रहा है, तो एग्जिट गाइडलाइंस पे भी थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए।
बिल्कुल सही है। एंड लास्ट क्वेश्चन सर, शादी तो कर ली, अगर डिवोर्स देना हो तो क्या?
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, फिर वो डीमर्जर गाइडलाइंस में काम आएगी सर, ऐसी आएगी।
हाँ मतलब वो तो ठीक है, मर्ज लगेगा, गाइडेंस नहीं दे, बट इज इट इजी टू
देखिए
एग्जिट
थोड़ा
और?
तो ये बिल्कुल 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 सर, ये थोड़ा तो टफ होता है, नो डाउट सर। जैसे एग्जांपल, जैसे इवन हमने भी कई बार प्रयास किया था किसी फर्म के साथ काम करने के लिए। कई बार हो सकता है कि कुछ का कोई वैल्यू एडिशन नहीं निकल रहा है, कुछ आउटकम प्लस में नहीं आ रहा है कि भाई फॉर एग्जांपल आज भी हम वही काम कर रहे हैं और कुछ ऐसा पॉजिटिव नहीं हुआ। सो डेफिनेटली वी शुड बी अ प्रैक्टिकल सर, इसमें कोई प्रैक्टिकल होना चाहिए। हमारे सीए फर्म में सर एक ही चीज है कि हम एग्रीगेट करेंगे, या तो प्लस होगा या वो जिस जगह पे वहीं पर होगा, लॉस कुछ नहीं होने वाला है। जनरली प्रोबेबिलिटी कम है कि कोई लॉस हो आपको। मेजर प्रोबेबिलिटी है कि 100 में है, अगर आप 120 होगा, 130 होगा। तो अगर हमको लगता है 2-3 साल बाद एक्सपीरियंस करने के बाद कि सर कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन नहीं हो रहा है, तो वी शुड म्यूचुअली एग्री कि भाई सर हम जो काम कर रहे हैं इंडिविजुअली करते रहे, क्योंकि हमारे जुड़ने से कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ, और उसमें कोई बेसिकली कोई फेलियर से डरने वाली कोई बात ही नहीं है, तो कि हमारा जो एग्जिस्टिंग रेवेन्यू तो खत्म हुआ ही नहीं है कभी।
सही है। राइट सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। मेरी तरफ से तो मैडम, संजय सर आ गए क्या? हेलो, आई थिंक।
So, sir, would be joining in a bit, sir.
हाँ।
Sir, more questions are there. I am sharing with you, so
यस
you can continue on that questions also.
यस।
हाँ हाँ, एक क्वेश्चन ये भी आया हुआ है, व्हाट ड्यू डिलिजेंस शुड अ फर्म अंडरटेक बिफोर सेलेक्टिंग अ कोलैबोरेशन और एग्रीगेशन पार्टनर्स?
राइट राइट सर। सो मेरी सर अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या है, जैसे एग्जांपल मैंने सर अभी रिसेंटली मैंने ना 2025 सीए से कोलैबोरेट किया है फॉर जीएसटी प्रैक्टिस, ट्रिब्यूनल प्रैक्टिस। सो व्हाट वी हैव डन कि हमने क्या किया सर, लोकल जो फ्रेंड्स है या सर्कल्स में जो सीए फ्रेटर्निटी में पहचान के लोग हैं, उनसे गुडविल चेक कराया। फिर आईसीआई लेवल पे हमने देखा कि कोई उसमें कोई वो मतलब कोई क्या डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन तो नहीं है, फॉर्म पीयर रिव्यूड है कि नहीं, जैसे ये पीयर रिव्यू भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट पैरामीटर हो गया है। तो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड उसका फॉर्म का कैसा है। तो 2-4 हम क्रॉस चेक करा के बेसिकली हम कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि हम उसका एक ड्यू डिलिजेंस हम लोग अपने लेवल पे कर लें, क्रॉस चेक कर लें, हमारा कोई रिलेशन वहाँ रिलेटिव वहाँ पर है उससे उस थ्रू मालूम पड़ पाए, कोई सीए फॉर्म सीए दोस्त दोस्त है वहाँ पर तो उससे मालूम पड़ पाए। कुछ क्लाइंट से भी हम फीडबैक ले सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज द सर्विस दे आर सर्विंग। तो इस तरीके से और फिर आईसीआई लेवल पे तो हम बेसिकली ये देख सकते हैं कि डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन तो कोई पेंडिंग नहीं है, फॉर्म की पीयर रिव्यू है कि नहीं, कब से उसका एग्जिस्टेंस है, और कितना इवन ये भी एक पैरामीटर है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल कितनी बार उसके पार्टनर रोटेट हुए हैं। अगर पार्टनर ज्यादा रोटेट हो रहे हैं मतलब कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम है। अगर लॉन्ग टर्म स्टेबिलिटी है उस फॉर्म में मतलब उसमें ऐसा कोई मेजर प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। तो दिस आर सम ऑफ द गाइडेड पैरामीटर्स व्हिच कैन बी रिव्यूड बिफोर जॉइनिंग हैंड विद एनी पार्टनर। और सर देखिए हो सकता है कि बिल्कुल इतना पैरामीटर चाहिए, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम भी एज अ कंपनी जब किसी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं वो पूरा पैरामीटर चेक करते हैं, कई बार वो कंपनी बेकार निकल जाती है। तो इस लाइक यहाँ पर भी हो सकता है, तो इसमें कोई सेकंड थॉट नहीं है। हम अपना एक बेसिक ड्यू डिलिजेंस तो करें, उसके बाद ज्वाइन करें। हो सकता है कई बार 5 में से एक बार धोखा भी हो अपने को कि उतना वो सही ना जाए, तो ठीक है उसको फिर हटाएं उस पार्टनर को, और फिर बाकी पार्टनर का कंटिन्यू करें।
सही है। What practical steps can help build trust among firms, especially when they were earlier competitors? हाँ, ये भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर मान लो कंप्यूटर, स्पेशली छोटी सिटीज के अंदर, हम लोग जैसे मान लो भीलवाड़ा है, भीलवाड़ा के अंदर वी आर मोर देन 500, मतलब मोर देन 300-400 फर्म्स आर देयर। काफी
हाँ
लोग हम लोग जानते हैं आपस में, लेकिन है अब हम लोग मर्जिंग करना चाहे तो हो सकता है क्लाइंट भी एक दूसरे कंप्यूटर रहे हो पहले, तो
हाँ
उसको
हाँ।
हम कैसे सेटल कर सकते हैं, उसको हम कैसे रिकवर कर सकते हैं? स्पेशली
नहीं।
छोटी सिटी के अंदर प्रॉब्लम आएगी, बड़ी सिटी में तो नहीं आएगी।
हाँ हाँ, नहीं सर देखिए ये प्रॉब्लम वैसे तो कहीं भी आ सकती है सर, ये बड़ी बात नहीं है। फॉर एग्जांपल देखिए उसमें ना सर वही एग्रीमेंट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जांपल मैं एग्जांपल लेता हूँ, जनरली हम लोग जैसे जीएसटी का ट्रिप हम लोग क्लियर कर लिया कि भाई मैं ये सर्विसेज कैटर करूंगा एग्जांपल, ठीक है। आप अभी एग्जिस्टिंग आप ऑडिट सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट कर रहे हैं, हमने एक टाइप किया कि भाई देखो जीएसटी का काम मैं करूंगा, आप नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन मेरा ये एश्योरेंस एक डॉक्यूमेंटेशन बने सर कि मैं दूसरे क्लाइंट और दूसरी सर्विसेज को पिच नहीं करूंगा जो आप एग्जिस्टिंग ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं। तो अगर
ओके,
उसको हम डॉक्यूमेंट कर ले कि सर देखिए अल्टीमेटली कि एक सर्विस हम किस सर्विस के लिए अपन ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, अगर वो अगर डॉक्यूमेंट कर ले तो कि धोखा आदमी एक ही बार दे सकता है सर। जैसे एग्जांपल, अगर मैं लिटिगेशन प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ, बी टू बी प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ, तो बेसिकली मेरे को ट्रस्ट बहुत जरूरी है कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग सीए में वो काम क्यों देगा। वो एक बार वो बोलेगा कि भाई मैं आपके कंप्लायंस वाले काम नहीं लूंगा, आपके स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट वाला काम नहीं लूंगा, मैं आपका लिटिगेशन हैंडल करने के लिए हूँ यहाँ पर, और लिटिगेशन के लिए हमारी अरेंजमेंट है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये आपकी रेफरेंस फीस है और ये हमारा वर्किंग मॉडल है। तो हमको एक क्लियर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन उसमें करना चाहिए, एमओयू करना चाहिए कि सर देखिए ये असाइनमेंट है, इसके लिए आप हमारे के, आप कोई भी दूसरे असाइनमेंट नहीं लेंगे उस फंड पे, ये हमको एक डिस्क्लोजर अपना और एग्रीमेंट करना पड़ेगा।
राइट सर। सर जैसे आपने अपने डिटेल डिस्कशन में बताया था, उसमें एक पॉइंट में भी थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो गया, उसके ऊपर ही एक क्वेश्चन भी आया हुआ है। हाउ कैन एग्रीगेशन एंड कोलैबोरेशन हेल्प फर्म्स डाइवर्सिफाई सर्विस ऑफरिंग एंड अंडरटेक असाइनमेंट दैट मैं अदरवाइज भी बियॉन्ड द इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी, मतलब जो मेरी कैपेसिटी नहीं है आज की तारीख में, जो मैं काम कर नहीं सकता हूँ, अगर वो असाइनमेंट आता है तो कहीं कहीं मैं परफॉर्म कर पाऊँ नहीं कर पाऊँ, ये भी एक क्वेश्चन आता है। उसको मतलब कैसे इसको कोलैबोरेशन में कैसे हम हेल्प कर सकते हैं?
अच्छा, सर देखिए इसमें ना मुझे लगता है कि ना सर, एक तो सबसे पहले ना सबसे जरूरी है कि हम अपने स्पेशलाइज स्किल सेट समझें कि हमारा नॉलेज एरिया क्या है, मेरे को
राइट।
कहाँ एक्सपीरियंस है, और उस स्किल सेट के साथ मैं जाऊँ। एग्जांपल, मेरे को ऑडिट में स्किल सेट है तो मेरे को जीएसटी के बारे में सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए। तो बेसिकली हमको पहले तो हर हर पार्टनर क्या स्किल सेट लेके आ रहा है उसके बारे में वो बताए, पुटअप करे और डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करे अपने स्किल सेट कि भाई मेरा 15 साल, 20 साल, 25 साल का ये एक्सपीरियंस है इस इंडस्ट्री में। तो तभी वो कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं कोई कंपनी है, तो वो आज के डेट में हर जो बड़ी कॉर्पोरेट हो जाती है सर, वो देखती है स्पेशलाइज सर्विसेज चाहिए उनको, इस जीएसटी का स्पेशलाइज बंदा चाहिए, आरओसी का स्पेशलाइज पर्सन चाहिए, ऑडिट का स्पेशलाइज पर्सन चाहिए। तो अगर हम वो नीड को सर्व कर पाएंगे तभी हम कोलैबोरेट करते हैं। तो हमको पहले क्लैरिफाई करनी चाहिए मेरा स्किल सेट क्या है पहले तो। वी कैन नॉट, ये एक्सेप्ट भी करना चाहिए हमको कि हम मास्टर ऑफ ऑल नहीं हो सकते। मतलब प्रैक्टिकली अगर हमको अगर बड़ा बनना है अपनी प्रैक्टिस में, फॉर एग्जांपल हम आज की डेट में क्या कर रहे हैं सर, छोटे क्लाइंट को कैटर कर रहे हैं और हर सर्विस हर छोटी सिटी में प्रॉब्लम है सर। लेकिन अगर जब हम बड़ा बनना चाहते हैं तो हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम अपनी बेस्ट स्किल को सेट को आइडेंटिफाई करें और उसके बाद वो कोलैबोरेशन मॉडल पे जाएं कि देखिए सर ये मेरा स्किल सेट है, ये मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है जो फर्म के काम आ सकता है, और इस तरीके से हम जुड़ेंगे तो आपके वाले क्लाइंट्स को मैं ये सर्विसेज दे पाऊंगा। तो तभी हम एक कोलैबोरेशन की तरफ आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अनलेस अगर हम ये बोले कि हम सब हम कर सकते हैं तो फिर ये कोलैबोरेशन पॉसिबल नहीं होगा।
बिल्कुल सही बात है। सर जैसे सतीश सर ने भी अभी जो आंकड़े बताए उसके उसके हिसाब से मोर देन 90% फर्म्स आर स्मॉल फर्म्स है।
हम्म।
मोर देन 90%, बिग फर्म जो है वो मुश्किल से 10% है। तो क्या लगता है आप, मतलब व्हाट आर द फ्यूचर फॉर दिस नेक्स्ट 5 ईयर, मतलब अगले 5 साल के अगर हम देखें तो ये आंकड़ा मतलब कितना चेंज हो सकता है? अभी 90-10 का रेशियो है, तो व्हाट डू यू थिंक ये रेशियो कहाँ तक कैसे से?
देखिए सर, आज की डेट में ना सर, देखिए आज की डेट में जो काम आपको पर्सनल कैपेबिलिटी में आ रहा है वो तो कभी भी आना ही है, उसे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता फर्म स्ट्रक्चर का। फॉर एग्जांपल, इवन क्लाइंट आपको जानता है वो किस फर्म के नाम से बिल दे, आप उसको मतलब भी नहीं है।
मतलब ही
लेकिन
नहीं,
क्या
सही
होता है,
है।
लेकिन जब बड़े असाइनमेंट जाते थे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट ही देख लीजिए, बैंक की स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट। अब बैंक की स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट में भी इतनी स्ट्रिंजेंट गाइडलाइंस आ गई है आजकल की, प्रोप्राइटरशिप हमको काम ही नहीं मिलेगा।
नहीं मिलेगा।
इवन कॉन्करेंट ऑडिट, आप यू कैन इमेजिन कि कॉन्करेंट ऑडिट मिल ही नहीं सकता, मतलब किसी
एलिजिबल,
एलिजिबिलिटी
प्रोफेट आर
नहीं।
नॉट एलिजिबल।
तो उसमें मतलब अगर देखिए आज आपके सफिशिएंट इंडिविजुअल क्लाइंट्स है तो आपको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता कि प्रोप्राइटर हो कि पार्टनरशिप फर्म हो। लेकिन अगर आपको कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेवल के क्लाइंट जाना है तभी आपके लिए रिलीवेंट रहेगा, और उस केसेस में ही आपको जुड़ना चाहिए। तो अगर आपको ये लगता है कि भाई मेरे को पीएसयू, गवर्नमेंट का असाइनमेंट ये सब नहीं करना है, और जो मेरा स्किल सेट है उसमें मैं अपने प्राइवेट क्लाइंट को कैटर कर सकता हूँ, तो आपको जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। अनलेस कि आप चाहते हो कि भाई मैं अपने रिवेन्यू को बढ़ाऊं और अपने एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट को क्रॉस सेलिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज को भी देखो कि भाई क्या नए क्लाइंट को और कैसे कैटर कर सकता हूँ। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कोई क्लाइंट आपका बड़ा हो गया, अब उसको आईपीओ लाना है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो भाई आप अब उस इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ आप उसको ग्रोथ, तो कोई एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन को हम टाई अप कर ले तो ज्यादा अच्छा हमारे लिए रहेगा, तो उसका हम आईपीओ भी ला लें और एक नया रिवेन्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी हमारी फॉर्म में भी जनरेट कर पाए।
राइट। सर एक क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है, whether a proprietorship firm can go to aggregation of the firm. Income tax department is not considering the empanelment application for social auditor in the name of networking of the firm while submitting the network firm constitution of certificate with the constitution of certificate of all firms in networking in aggregating of LLP. Can we take the ranking points of more than one firm in C? ये कैसे पॉसिबल है? इनका कहना मतलब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट नॉट, वो जो सोशल ऑडिटर वाले जो वर्क है, जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रहती है, दे आर नॉट कंसिडरिंग द फर्म। वो बोला नहीं हम तो सोशल, बिकॉज सोशल ऑडिटर इज ऑफ कोर्स इट इज इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी है, वो तो है। तो वो जो फर्म, वो जो वर्क है, दे आर डिनाइंग कि हम लोग फर्म को नहीं देंगे। इसके अंदर इसके बेस पे क्वेश्चन आया हुआ था ये।
अच्छा, तो सर इसको मेरे ख्याल से आईसीआई लेवल पे ही इसको कैटर करना पड़ेगा। इस टाइप का चैलेंजेस है तो आईसीआई
हाँ,
लेवल पे इसको मेरे ख्याल से कैटर करना पड़ेगा।
डिजिटल डिजिटलाइजेशन जो हुआ सर, डिजिटल सिग्नेचर का और डिजिटल वाला जो है, इसका कितना रोल रहेगा? बिकॉज अगर इतने सारे पार्टनर, जैसे मान लो 15-20 पार्टनर है, कोई भी अगर आपको ऐसा फॉर्म भरना है, उसमें ये अगर रिक्वायरमेंट आई है, देन यू हैव टू साइन ऑल द पार्टनर्स, हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल सर?
ये सर एक कंसर्न तो है बिल्कुल। कई बार होता है कि मतलब हम लोग भी देखते हैं कि अपनी पार्टनरशिप हम डीड में भी चेंज करना है तो 10-12 पार्टनर को भेजो और उसको फिर कराओ। तो मुझे लगता है कि आईसीआई को ना सर इसमें मतलब एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाना चाहिए कि डीड के हिसाब से, जहां पर हम डिजिटल सिग्नेचर से साइन करके सबमिट कर दें। फॉर
हाँ,
एग्जाम्पल, हाँ, तो मेरे को लगता है कि इवन इवन क्या बोलते हैं, जैसे अब रिमोटली अगर वर्क कर रहे हैं तो हमको तो फिर ना डीएससी लेवल पे ही वर्क करना चाहिए कि फिर पार्टनर को इंडिविजुअली फिजिकल साइन को हटाना चाहिए और डिजिटल साइन पे फोकस करना चाहिए कि हम डिजिटली, और वो एक्सेप्टेबल कराना चाहिए भाई कि जो भी पीएसयू जो लें तो डिजिटल सिग्नेचर को भी उतनी वैलिडिटी दे एज कम्पेयर टू फिजिकल सिग्नेचर। तो आईसीआई अगर इसको मैंडेट कर देगा कि भाई अगर मान लो डिजिटल सिग्नेचर सब पार्टनर्स डिफरेंट लोकेशंस पे कर देते हैं तो ये फास्ट हो जाएगा काम एज कम्पेयर टू फिजिकल साइनिंग अक्रॉस द ऑल द पार्टनर।
तो उसमें भी सर रिक्वायरमेंट ये लगानी पड़ेगी, जो वर्क कर रहा है एक्चुअली उसी के डिजिटल सिग्नेचर। अगर आप उसमें ये आगे आपको सबके साइन कराना है, तो डिजिटल सिग्नेचर सबकी भी पॉसिबल नहीं है। बिकॉज मैं एज अ पार्टनर, मेरे पास मेरा डिजिटल है, मैं किसी और का डिजिटल तो रख नहीं सकता हूँ ना। उसको भेजूंगा, वो साइन करके भेजेगा, ऐसे मान लो 5 जगह साइन कराना होगा तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा। फिजिकल साइन में जो चैलेंजेस है, वो डिजिटल साइन में चैलेंज तो आ ही रहा है ना। क्योंकि एक एक फर्म के ऊपर एक पार्टनर के पास सबके डिजिटल सिग्नेचर तो मिल नहीं सकते हैं, सबके पास अपना अपना
मतलब
डिजिटल।
वो पीडीएफ शेयर करते रहना पड़ेगा सर, पीडीएफ में ऐड करते
हाँ,
रहना
वही
पड़ेगा।
जो जैसा हम बैंक ऑडिट में करते हैं कि एक
हाँ,
साइन किया, फिर उसको पीडीएफ शेयर किया, फिर उसने साइन किया, वो आ गया।
हाँ, अटैच करते जाए, अटैच करते
तो
जाए।
जहाँ 20-25-30 पार्टनर है, वहां तो प्रोसेस बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा ना। तो इसके लिए कॉमन कुछ
हाँ,
बनाना
तो
चाहिए।
वो मतलब बेसिकली देखिए वो चैलेंज तो फिजिकल में ज्यादा है एज कम्पेयर टू डिजिटल में, उससे तो कम
हाँ,
जाएगा।
फिजिकल में तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, फिजिकल में तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, एक का
टाइम टेकिंग टास्क पे आता है, और लेकिन अब वो डिजिटल करके मुझे लगता है उससे इजी हो जाएगा। या तो मेरे को लगता है सर इसके लिए अपने इतनी बड़ी अपन फॉर्म बना रहे हैं, मेरे को ऐसा क्या लगता है सर कि एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑफिस होना चाहिए कि जो सेंट्रलाइज ये सब काम करे अपने, ठीक है, तो वो मैनेज करे ये सब चीजों को, तो भी ये पॉसिबल है।
राइट सर। सर एक क्वेश्चन और आया रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग पे। वी आर द 3 मेंबर्स फर्म्स, देयर आर अदर 4 सोल practitioners who are ready to network with us. They have concern with who owns the brand, how our revenue share exists, implications, how to address these things। मतलब मेन थिंग का ये है कि भाई हम लोग ऑलरेडी वर्क कर रहे हैं, हमारा एक ब्रांड बना हुआ है, वो लोग भी वो लोग जो आ रहे हैं उनका भी एक ब्रांड बना हुआ, तो उसको who are ready to network with us, they have concern with who owns the brand। Yes।
ये कंसर्न है सर। मेरे को लगता है कि इस केस में अगर आपको जुड़ना है ना तो सर, तो जो एग्जिस्टिंग आपके ब्रांड उसको खत्म करके एक मर्ज एंटिटी बनाना पड़ेगा विद नेम, जहां पर इंडिविजुअल एंटिटी मत दिखे। तो
ओके।
इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटी को हटा के ऐसा नाम बनाए कि जो जहां पर मतलब जनरलाइज नाम रहो, और ऑल टुगेदर उसमें लिख सकते हैं कि प्रीवियसली नोन एज, तो लिखा ही रहेगा ही। तो उसमें जहां पर इंडिविजुअल आइडेंटिटी को हटा के अपन काम करें जब भी सक्सेसफुल रहेगा, नहीं तो फिर
मर्जिंग
हमेशा
में तो
हाँ,
मर्जिंग में तो पॉसिबल है, ये मर्जिंग के अंदर तो पॉसिबल है कि अपना अपना इंडिविजुअल आप नया नाम दे दो एक
हाँ।
एलएलपी को, तो वो तो
और जो
possible।
ऐसा इवन जैसे मान लो कोई ब्रांड नेम भी लेते हैं तो यू शुड गेट द रजिस्टर्ड ट्रेडमार्क फॉर दैट ब्रांड, और
हाँ,
उसको
वो भी।
फॉर्म लेवल पे ले, फॉर्म लेवल पे ले, पार्टनर लेवल पे ना ले। तो जो भी पार्टनर जुड़ेगा सबको वो एक्सेस रहेगा, सबको बेनिफिट मिलेगा उसका।
एक क्वेश्चन और आई थिंक ये तो टेक्निकल है। हाउ हाउ कैन वी फिल एग्रीगेशन फॉर्म फॉर मर्जर? वो तो गाइडलाइन में दिया हुआ ही है मेरे ख्याल से, इंस्टीट्यूट ने गाइडलाइन में
हाँ,
दे ही
yes,
रखा है
yes,
कि हाउ वी कैन, व्हाट डज एग्रीगेशन मींस इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट यू आर, व्हाट डज एग्रीगेशन मीन इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट यू आर सेइंग। आई थिंक मेरे पास जो क्वेश्चन है वो सारे हो गए हैं।
yes।
और टाइम भी।
एक क्वेश्चन है जैसे मेरे को एक ड्राफ्ट था, व्हाट प्रैक्टिकल एडवाइस वुड यू गिव टू फॉर्म दैट एस्पायर टू स्केल सिग्निफिकेंटली ओवर द नेक्स्ट 5 ईयर थ्रू एग्रीगेशन एंड कोलैबोरेशन? क्या प्रैक्टिकल एडवाइस देंगे? तो सर देखिए, मैं तो एक ही चीज बोलूंगा। जैसे एग्जांपल अभी देखते हैं कि अपन को पहले अपन एग्जिस्टिंग अभी कहाँ पर है अभी, है ना। फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने भी अभी सोचा था कि मैं कैसे काम करूं, मतलब मैंने एक प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम अभी सर फेस किया। फॉर
सही।
एग्जाम्पल मेरी एक क्लाइंट है जो छत्तीसगढ़ में था, उसने ना राजस्थान, गुजरात, उड़ीसा, दे हैव एक्सपेंडेड ऑपरेशन, राइट, तो मैं उसका बेसिकली जीएसटी ही सर्विस दे रहा था, जीएसटी के रिप्रेजेंटेशन, ट्रिब्यूनल सब मतलब जितना भी लिटिगेशन होगा मैनेज कर रहा था। सो मैंने अभी रिसेंटली आइडेंटिफाई किया कि राजस्थान में जैसे है, तो राजस्थान में उसका कोई केस आया डिपार्टमेंट ऑडिट का, जीएसटी ऑडिट। तो इस फिर मैं बोला कि इट्स नॉट प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल मी टू ट्रेवल ऑल द, और फिजिबल भी नहीं होगा कॉस्टिंग वाइज भी, कि उतना फीस अपन क्लाइंट से नहीं मांग सकते। और क्लाइंट अगर हम उसको, अगर वो कैटर नहीं करेंगे तो वो कोई और फी ऐड करेगा वहां पर भी। तो हमारा एक असाइनमेंट का काम खत्म हो जाएगा, बेसिकली एक असाइनमेंट खत्म हो जाएगा इसमें, हमारा ट्रस्ट खत्म हो जाएगा। कि हाउ टू एंश्योर कि वैसे देखिए मैं तो चारों स्टेट में सर्व कर पाऊंगा। तो मैंने क्या किया सर, राजस्थान में एक पार्टनर बनाया, उड़ीसा में एक पार्टनर बनाया, और गुजरात में एक पार्टनर बनाया जीएसटी काम के लिए, मतलब वही स्पेशलाइज काम। मैंने एक फैक्ट चेक किया, रिव्यू किया उनके असाइनमेंट को, एग्जिस्टिंग उनकी गुडविल को आइडेंटिफाई किया, उसके बाद मैंने असाइनमेंट दिया। तो देखिए आज वो क्लाइंट मेरे से जुड़ा भी है और मेरे को एक रेफरल फीस उसमें मिल ही रही है। तो हमको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि अगर हम ये नहीं करेंगे तो वो असाइनमेंट चले जाएगा सर।
चला जाएगा, सही बात है, बिल्कुल।
सिमिलरली सर एग्जांपल मैंने अभी एक क्लाइंट, मतलब एग्जांपल एक क्लाइंट है, साउथ 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 सिटी का क्लाइंट है, वो बेस्ड है, लिस्टेड कंपनी है। अब छत्तीसगढ़ में जब उसका काम आया कि भाई आपको एक लिटिगेशन है करके, तो उन्होंने मुझे हैंडल किया दिया, दो तीन केस अच्छा हो गया उनके। तो उन्होंने कहा कि सर देखिए हमारी जो प्रेजेंस है वो पर्टिकुलर दो स्टेट्स में ही है, लेकिन हमारी जो ब्रांचेस है पूरे क्रॉस इंडिया में है। आप हमको क्या झारखंड में सर्विस दे सकते हो क्या, आप हमको दिल्ली में सर्विस दे सकते हो क्या? तो उस टाइम भी मेरे को ये लगा कि सर अगर मैं ये टाई अप कर लूँ सबके साथ जो भी एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, तो मैंने सर ये प्रयास कर लिया, ऑलमोस्ट 30 पार्टनर्स भी एंगेज। मतलब सर हमने मतलब बेस्ट जो जो उस इंडिया मैंने अभी आइडेंटिफाई किया, हो सकता है 30 में से सर 5-6 सर्विस नहीं दे पाएंगे, वी विल लर्न फॉर दैट। वो तो लर्निंग कंटिन्यूस रहेगी। लेकिन आज की
ठीक
डेट में सर हमने 30 एरियाज को आइडेंटिफाई, 30 सिटीज जो प्रोमिनेंट सिटीज ऑफ द इंडिया उसमें आइडेंटिफाई हमने कर लिया है, जहाँ पर हमारे पार्टनर आइडेंटिफाई है। तो कोई भी क्लाइंट जो मल्टी स्टेट प्रेजेंट वाला है, हम उसको खोएंगे नहीं। हर हम एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट को पिच कर रहे हैं अपने कि भाई देखो ये स्टेट्स में हमारी प्रेजेंस है, एसोसिएट पार्टनर है हमारे, उनके साथ हम आपको कैटर कर सकते हैं। तो इट इज वर्किंग फॉर अस, इट इज वर्किंग फॉर अस सर। तो
राइट।
क्लाइंट को भी मतलब फिर क्या होता है कि सर लोकल में चले गया किसी और का, तो आपका काम खत्म हो गया फिर वो। फिर बोले वो कॉन्फिडेंस खत्म हो जाता है कि भाई आपको एंगेज किए, तो फिर वो तो कि मल्टीपल स्टेट में मल्टीपल सीए से वो डील नहीं कर सकता सर क्लाइंट।
सर आपने जो रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग की बात करी, उसमें एक क्वेश्चन ये आया हुआ है कि स्पेशली जब जैसे मान लो कोई पार्टनर है, ऑलरेडी फर्म है जो 20 साल 25 साल 30 साल है, और कोई 2-3 साल सीए हुए उसको है, लेकिन उसकी इच्छा है कि नहीं मुझे आगे बहुत ग्रो करना है, वो उसके उनके साथ एग्रीगेशन में आना चाहता है, तो उसमें कैसे होगा? मतलब वो
तो
एक
इसमें
तरह
ना,
से हम।
हाँ
हाँ,
हाँ
प्लीज सर।
हाँ, मतलब सर इसमें ना सर दो तीन चीजें हो सकती है। तो एक तो सर फॉर एग्जांपल जो फॉर्म के क्रेडेंशियल्स आपने बिल्ड किए हैं, तो यू कैन कमांड फॉर दैट ऑल्सो। फॉर एग्जांपल भाई 100 100 रुपीज रेवेन्यू है, सो यू कैन से कि भाई फॉर 15-20 रुपीज गुडविल आई हैव अर्नड, 15-20 रुपए
राइट।
गुडविल, और 20% इज द बेसिकली मैं क्लाइंट लेके आ रहा हूँ। सो इस केस में आप इस तरीके से भी कमांड कर सकते हैं 40% 50%, ये 50% द एग्जीक्यूटिंग पार्टनर, ठीक है, तो आप एग्जीक्यूट करो। सो दिस वे ऑल्सो वी कैन वर्क कि भाई आपकी गुडविल भी आइडेंटिफाई कर ले कि फर्म की गुडविल आपने ओवर द पीरियड आइडेंटिफाई किया, तो उस फॉर्म की गुडविल का पैसा, सेकंड फिर इंट्रोडक्शन का पैसा, फिर थर्ड जो एग्जीक्यूटिव का पैसा, तीन पार्ट में इसको ब्रेक करके तो सॉल्व कर सकते हैं।
नहीं, उसमें 50% तो जैसे सीनियर पार्टनर के चलाएंगे, बाकी फर्म के अंदर ऐसा,
हाँ,
या
मतलब एग्जाम मेरा क्या सजेशन रहेगा सर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 20% इज फॉर द फॉर्म गुडविल। तो
फर्म, हाँ
बेसिकली
ठीक है।
जो जिसने फॉर्म किया फॉर्म उसको मिलेगा, ठीक है, इन द फॉर्म। और 20% बेसिकली आप जो इंट्रोड्यूस करोगे आप क्लाइंट उसके लिए अभी नया और फिर बाद में फिर जो बाकी बच गया वो एग्जीक्यूटिव पार्टनर के पास।
हाँ, स्पेशली ये जो क्वेश्चन है वो यही कह रहे हैं कि जैसे मान लो मैं एज ए न्यू कमर हूँ, पर लेकिन मेरे मेरी है कांटेक्ट भी, और मैं वर्क ला सकता हूँ। सीनियर पार्टनर का मुझे सिर्फ नाम चाहिए, फर्म का नाम चाहिए, उसके बेस पे मैं काम ला
फॉर
सकता हूँ।
एग्जाम्पल अगर मान लीजिए वो काम ला भी सकता है और एग्जीक्यूट भी कर सकता है, तो 20% से एग्जाम्पल गुडविल कर दे फॉर्म को।
नहीं, पर उसमें क्वेश्चन ये आ रहा है कि मैं जो वर्क लेके आ रहा हूँ वो उनके नाम से लेके आ रहा हूँ, बिकॉज उनका नाम बड़ा है, उनके
हाँ
वर्क मैं ले रहा हूँ, कॉन्टेक्ट में यूज कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन उनका
हाँ
नाम, जैसे उनका नाम उनका कार्ड लगाया तो वो वर्क मुझे मिल गया,
हाँ।
बोले
तो
अच्छा आपका इतना बड़ा है।
उसी के लिए तो सर 20% उस फॉर्म को जाएगा जिसका नाम यूज कर रहा हूँ मैं।
ओके,
तो
20%
हम
उस
तो
फर्म
तीन
में।
पार्ट में बात करेंगे, 20% जो नाम का, 20% बेसिकली का काम लाने का, और 60% एग्जीक्यूट करने का। अब तो तीनों में से जो क्राइटेरिया जो मीट कर रहा है उसके आप शेयरिंग करें वो।
सही बात, सही बात। हाँ, बस और तो कोई क्वेश्चन है नहीं, वी कैन
नहीं सर, इवन मतलब ये
कंक्लूड।
बहुत काम भी करता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे एग्जाम्पल मेरी फर्म में अगर 5-6 गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट का पीएसयू का एक्सपीरियंस है एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है। अब वही सेम एक्सपीरियंस तो कि वो पीएसयू सब जगह कॉमन है सर वो, है ना। तो आपके यहाँ फॉर एग्जाम्पल राजस्थान में मैं कोई पार्टनर ज्वाइन करता हूँ, बोल रहे थे कि मेरी क्रेडेंशियल्स ये है, तो उसके कारण आपको काम मिल सकता है। बस आपको जो मेरी रॉयल्टी जो बेसिकली वी कैन से कि गुडविल और जो मैं क्रेडेंशियल्स लेके आया हूँ उसका एक फीस देना पड़ेगा मुझे। तो आपके लिए भी विन विन है सर, वो काम आपको मिल रहा है तो अच्छी बात है सर आपके लिए।
हाँ वो बात तो सही है सर, बात तो सही है।
एग्जाम्पल मैंने देखा था, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी जैसे एक बोर्ड होता है, छत्तीसगढ़ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी, तो हर जगह पे ऐसा बोर्ड है। राजस्थान रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी, उड़ीसा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी। अगर किसी पार्टनर ने किसी एक जगह पे काम कर लिया है, तो वो अपन एक्सपीरियंस वहां बोलते हैं कि भाई आपको ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस है कि नहीं, तो वो काम आ जाता है वहां पर।
करेक्ट करेक्ट सर।
और आपकी फॉर
अभी
एग्जाम्पल आपकी फॉर्म में कोई एक्सपीरियंस है भाई, छत्तीसगढ़ में सेम कंपनी है यहाँ पर, मेरे को वो एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, तो मेरे को तो मिलेगा नहीं ऐसे फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस, तो मैं आपकी फॉर्म को बोलूंगा कि मैं पार्टनर बनता हूँ, और आपकी फॉर्म की इस बिडिंग करेंगे तो हमको फायदा मिलेगा, तो हम आपको एक रेफरल फीस देंगे उसका, बिल्कुल।
नहीं, हाँ बड़ा वर्क लेके आना है तो यही यही मॉडल अपनाना
यही
पड़ेगा, इसके
मॉडल
अलावा तो
है।
चांस ही नहीं है। बाकी तो ये तो वर्क मिलेगा ही नहीं, है फिर आप बड़ा काम कभी कर ही नहीं पाओगे, बात भी
नहीं
सही
नहीं कर पाएंगे, नहीं कर पाएंगे।
है। संजय सर से एक बात हो सकती है कॉल पे, तो वी हैव अभी शेड्यूल टाइम से तो कम 20-25 मिनट पीछे चल रहे हैं हम लोग, तो इतना इतना तो वेट इतना क्वेश्चन आंसर ही नहीं बचे मेरे पास।
कुछ क्वेश्चन मैं देख लेता हूँ और अभी।
हाँ अगर आपके पास आया हो सर, क्योंकि मेरे
हाँ,
पास
कुछ
जितने थे
क्वेश्चन आए थे।
सारे पूछ लिए।
What governance mechanism, role, decision right, and accountability framework are essential to ensure fairness and transparency among partners? सर मेरे को ऐसा लगता है ना सर, इसमें ना एक मतलब एसओपी ऐसा बनना चाहिए कि कैसे कोई पार्टनर ग्रो करेगा किसी फॉर्म में, ठीक है। तो फॉर एग्जांपल उसमें कुछ टाइम लिमिट होगा, फॉर एग्जांपल कोई भी नया आदमी आता है तो उसको रहना चाहिए कि मेरा फ्यूचर ग्रोथ मैप क्या है, रोड मैप क्या है, मतलब मैं कैसे, फॉर एग्जांपल बिग फोर में जब हम लोग देखते हैं, तो उनका क्लियर क्राइटेरिया है कि भाई अगर आप 5 साल कैटर करोगे तो आप असिस्टेंट मैनेजर बनोगे, फिर उसके बाद 10 ईयर्स आप सर्व करोगे तो एसएम बनोगे, और उसके बाद फिर 30-35 ईयर्स सर्व करोगे तो डायरेक्टर बन जाओगे। मतलब आपकी नाम से मैटर नहीं करता है, आपकी वो कितना सर्विस आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए कर रहे हो उस पर मैटर करता है। तो जब
राइट
इस
राइट
टाइप का क्लियर रोड मैप हम किसी को डिफाइन करते हैं कि एसओपी बेस्ड, इंडिविजुअल का कंट्रोल नहीं होना चाहिए किसी फॉर्म पे, जब जब प्रोसेस का कंट्रोल होगा किसी चीज पे तो ये पॉसिबल है। आज हम देखते हैं सर, बिग फोर का हम नाम सुनते हैं, हमको किसी को मालूम नहीं पड़ता कि कौन कौन पार्टनर है उसमें,
करेक्ट।
इंडिविजुअल नाम
एक
नहीं
नाम
मालूम
ही
पड़ता हमको कि कौन कर रहा है, लेकिन अपनी सेफ हम देखो इंडिया में, गुलशन एसोसिएट, ये एसोसिएट, तो आपको मालूम
राइट
पड़
राइट।
जाता है। इवन कोई नया पार्टनर भी आएगा वो बोलेगा सर वो गुलशा जी मेन होंगे उसके, तो ये आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है।
यस यस
तो
यस।
वो चीज, तो वहां पर जहाँ जहाँ पर ना कि जहाँ पर एसओपी बेस्ड काम होगा, जहाँ पर हम बेसिकली बोलेंगे कि परफॉर्मेंस विल बी रिवॉर्डेड, जो परफॉर्मेंस करेगा वो रिवॉर्ड उसको मिलेगा। तो उस कंडीशन में क्या होता है कि कोई भी जो भी काम कर रहा है उसको उसका रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा, तो वही वो आगे वो परफॉर्म का काम करेगा। तो वो एसओपी बेस्ड चीजें मेरे को लगता है ज्यादा, जितना अच्छा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हम बनाएंगे उतना अच्छा हमारे लिए काम आएगा। उसमें रोल डिफाइन कर दिए, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिफाइन कर दिया, उसके साथ हिसाब से अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी डिफाइन कर दी है कि क्या अकाउंटेबिलिटी किस पार्टनर की रहेगी, तो वो काम कर सकता है।
करेक्ट।
Plant ownership system. How can firm ensure effective integration of team systems and client after entering into an aggregation or collaboration arrangement? ठीक। तो यस, पारुल मैम शायद हमारे बीच में है, कुछ बोल रहे हैं?
No, sir, I'm really appreciating the way the proceedings are taking place. Sir, basically, we have lot of concern about the sole proprietary. They're one of the most important and the biggest part of the landscape,
हाँ,
the
हाँ,
firm's landscape. So, I'm a sole proprietary. If I give you an example, because we meet a lot of people, so I wish to reach more people through this webinar with the same query.
हम्म,
I am a sole proprietor, and it's been 15 years of my practice, right?
राइट
Now you tell me three ways, practical ways, with which you can actually motivate me to aggregate.
राइट
करेक्ट।
ओके। So basically when you are a proprietor you are basically dealing with all the laws, ठीक है, you are dealing with GST law, you are dealing with income tax, you are a company law and all, and you are catering around for example 50, 70, 100 clients
Mhm.
at the most, right? So now, are you satisfied with the revenue you are getting first? If
Mhm.
you are satisfied you don't need to grow first. For example, are you giving the services what client is required? Are you facing any challenges, practical challenges while serving the client? For example, जो regulatory framework जिस तरीके से चेंज हो रहा है, जितना stringent हो रहा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं देखता हूँ मैम कि कभी जीएसटी की नोटिस आ रही है, एकदम स्ट्रिक्ट
Mhm.
है, लेकिन आप बेसिकली आप तो कि सब लोगों को सर्व करना चाह रहे हैं,
So
लेकिन
did
आप
you
देख रहे
request the mode of communication be English because a lot of people from
yeah,
southern
okay.
region are watching
So
you. Yeah.
you are basically serving the all the aspects, all the laws you are serving, for example, but
Mhm.
for example, not specialized in GST, say, right? So
All right.
when you see that if you in my slide also I have shown ki what are the reasons you have lost any client. For example,
Mhm.
you have lost any client because you cannot serve in any GST litigation because you don't have a complete knowledge of that subject.
Mhm.
This is the one aspect you have to identify ki what are the bigger opportunity you have lost because you are the proprietor.
Right.
For example, concurrent audit assignment. You can or you go through all the concurrent audit assignments. They have mentioned that they should be have a minimum partnership firm, but you have minimum two partners. Then only you
Mhm.
can get the assignment.
Mhm.
Second, there's a requirement of qualification. Visa is qualification, concurrent audit qualification. For example, you are belonging to a tier two city, and you have the banks who are eligible for concurrent audit assignments. And
Okay.
I have one firm in, for example, Chhattisgarh. We have all the qualification criteria requirement. I cannot cater that from your branch in your area. But when we can have a partnership arrangement, so you get all the credentials, we can participate in the concurrent audit assignment of your area. So this will be the new revenue opportunity for you, apart from which is not available as a proprietor to you.
Sir, one question which was very spontaneous. Is there only one way of aggregation, that is partnership?
Yeah.
Because referrals are anyways allowed by
Yes,
the
yes,
CA
yes.
Act.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
if I don't wish to partner, I'm very conservative.
Yes,
Say
yes.
I'm very
Okay.
conservative.
Okay.
Then keeping aside the I want to keep my firm intact, but at the same time I want more business and I'm willing to give more referrals also. I have a lot of work
Yes, yes.
which I can offer, which I don't per se deal with.
Hmm.
So is there any way, other way?
Yes, yes. For example, ma'am, what I am to say, for example, private clients. Private client is not concerned with whether you are a partnership firm or a bigger firm or a bigger firm. They are not concerned. They are concerned with you only. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are handling such type of assignments, so you can have a referral work. Example, they know you, you can refer to any other CA. You can arrangement with that CA and referral fees model with them. But when the
Mm-hmm.
firm credentials is important to get the assignment, then comes the basically documentation part is there. For example,
Mm-hmm.
for a bigger client, bigger assignments, for example, you want to participate in government tender, you want to
Mm-hmm.
participate in the CAG empanelment, you want to participate in the cooperative empanelment, you want to participate is any basically banking sector audit. So then only your credentials work, right? Unless you don't need any credentials, you are not required to go for that this. For example, if you are because kind of, if you have a private client base example, and they're hardly concerned with the status of your firm, so they
Mm-hmm.
you can go for a referral model. Then there is no requirement of firm credentials in that.
So, sir, when I asked you this question, so two things I received as a takeaway. One is I should see if I'm satisfied with my turnover and the
Right,
kind of line services which I offer. In
right.
case I'm only interested in turnover, then mere partnership is not the only way of aggregating or collaborating. I can also do domestic networking, or I can do other ways,
Yes,
and I can refer the work. As
yes,
far as adding more line services into my firm, then or maybe and with the help of those line services I wish to avail some big project by way of
right.
any empanelment process to any regulator,
Huh.
then to have those consolidation of the strength, the combined strength, then I need to go for maybe a merger.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so this is good, all is very good, it sounds so nice.
Yes, even what I can suggest, ma'am. For example, as a proprietor, you are serving basically a small client, MSME clients, example, having turnover of say 50, 60 crore odd, example. But you know you have one client, bigger client in your area, for example, having turnover of 1,000 crore. Now
Mm-hmm.
you want to cater that client.
Hmm.
Should you want to approach that client? Should you expect that that client will give assignment to any proprietorship firm? No.
Hmm.
Even for example, if for example your existing client having turnover say 50 crore and he is growing, and after 5 years he will be scale up to 1,000 crore, then he will be looking for the bigger firm, right? Bigger brand. So then also you need to go update it. For example, we have seen one established firm here in Chhattisgarh having 40 years of experience serving all the listed clients here. Now they are merged with a bigger firm of Kolkata, say example, so to prevent any client, existing client to go for the bigger firm option.
So which is such a nice thought that with my client I also have to grow.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
brand name is not only the kind of clientele I have, I
yeah,
am
yeah,
also a brand.
yeah, yeah.
and we have to grow together so that
Yes,
we can
definitely.
actually have that kind of work, that kind, and we give seamless quality,
Right.
the expected quality
Yes, yes,
from time to time.
yes, yes.
Moderator, sir, questions?
Yes. No, madam, I have all the questions I already discussed, sir.
No worries, no worries. Sir, I have another question. So
Hmm.
basically, okay, I have prepared my mind. Give me three red flags.
Hmm.
Okay, red flags. No, no, no. Whatever, I mean, the lucrative business I'm getting. But if this is there, I am not proceeding. Checks
Okay.
and balances should always be there.
Right, right. We should have a clear profit sharing ratio. Unless this is not in the documentation part, we should avoid.
Okay.
First, we should have a accountability also. Who will be accountable for what task? For example, when we enter into partnership firm with the unlimited liability of the each of the partner, we can
Mhm.
restrict that liability. For example, if you any person, any partner is handling particular assignment,
Mhm.
entire liability for that aspect it should be going to that partner only. Unless there is a restriction clause for a liability, we can should not enter into the transaction. And we should also give basically any disciplinary action if is pursuing with any partner. We should avoid any firm that which having a disciplinary action ongoing with that firm. So these are the red flag we should avoid with this tie up with the firm.
Okay. So basically, due diligence.
Yeah,
I need to do my due diligence. I need to have my all my profit sharing and revenue sharing models at place.
document. Yeah.
And third one, sir,
So basically,
accountability.
yeah, accountability. We will be accountable for if any thing go wrong. Assignment which are not handled by me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sir, do you really think these legal clauses help us mitigate risks or actually lead us to a little lesser number of disputes?
Yes, basically it also basically it have a very good control over the relationship we enter into, right? It's have clear clauses of how we'll deal, so that we can basically if there is any dispute arising in the partnership firm, we can claim for that document. We can the document can protect us for the any dispute in which can later on. Example, if we mutually agree that we will share your profit, we don't document, it is higher probability that there will be some dispute in the future and you will be suffered, right? So it is this is betterly recommended that you should have a clear understanding. Whatever you have discussions ongoing, you should document it, and you should comfortable with the documentation part only. You should
Mhm.
not be comfortable with the verbal assurance given by the other partner. So because it cannot be because if any litigation or trouble is there in future, you can definitely protect your interest with the documentation in place.
Right, sir. Sir, it's a very commonly asked question. Two commonly asked questions. One, they always want an agreement template as to how do you do, how did you do, and
Right.
what all clauses you had put so that we can replicate for an
Yeah.
easy reference.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what
Any five top clauses, they should always be considered while coming up with a partnership deed.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, is the basically the revenue sharing clause. So we should have a
Mm-hmm.
clear revenue sharing model. For example, first there should be one profit sharing for the goodwill of the firm, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
One profit sharing can be of the common expenditure of the firm.
Mm-hmm.
Third profit sharing should be of the a person who is bringing the assignment, introduction of the assignment, and fourth profit sharing should be of the executing partner. So if we divide in this part, it will be beneficial for all of them. For example, the person who is bringing the goodwill, reputation, he will get the chunk of it, right? Second, the person we should have a common expenditure also. For example, we want to bring a brand value of our firm. We want to have a good technology in place for our firm. So we should have a any common expenditure part also to meet out that that common infrastructure we want to share, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
should have every revenue we should have that share also. Third, the person must be get motivated to bring the new assignment also.
Mm.
For example, everyone should have the motivation to if we are bringing a new assignment to the table, we should get our chunk, right? So, for example, we have the new assignment for your state, right? But we cannot execute because we don't have a presence of that state. But since we have introduced that assignment, we should have our chunk also. And
Mm.
fifth is a support. Basically, the person who's executing is definitely will get the his execution part also. So the first is a clear cut revenue segregation clause, how it will work for the goodwill, the senior partner, the partner introducing the assignment, partner executing the assignment, and the common expenditure we will meet as a firm overall. So first is that. Second,
Right, sir.
exit clause should be clear. Exit clause.
Okay.
For example, we are not here. Ultimately, this is not a merit. We have no option other, right? So basically, we should have a clear exit clause also. For example, we are not satisfied. For example, 4 year, 5 year down line, we are somehow not satisfied with the collaboration we have done. So we should have clear mechanism how we'll get exit, what will be the valuation, what will be the revenue, what will affect the existing clientele we'll have an organization. It should be a clear cut exit clause also. How if a partner want to exit from the firm, how what we will get, which does not affect in existence serious issues with his existing practice, right? So ये exit clause basically ये important है मैम. And apart from that, or what I can visualize basically accountability is one of the concern. Basically accountability, for example, if any assignment goes wrong, right? So what will be the liability of individual partner, right? So we should have a clear-cut guidance that what is the liability of executing partner, what will be the liability of the bring partner who is bringing the assignment, and what will be the liability of the firm which goodwill has been used, right? So this should be liability clause should be there. Ki who will liable for anything goes wrong, because we enter with a good mindset, but anything can go wrong. So everyone is basically even right now the limited liability partnership trend is there in the I say also for the reason of limiting our liability, individual liability also, right? So because in partnership firm, this is a limitation that any partner can be equally accountable for any wrong done by any single partner also. So this is one of the biggest issues which persisting with the partnership firm. So everyone right now who are scaling their operation want to go for the LLP to limit their liability for the assignments done or executed by other partners.
Right, sir. So, sir, revenue sharing, exit clause, accountability. Anything else which you feel is important? Anything with respect to succession planning? The thing which
Yeah,
Chairman
yeah,
sir was mentioning in the beginning.
yeah, yeah.
What if something adverse happens?
Right.
Yeah.
For example, I was mentioning that, for example, sometimes we see that senior partners come with his son in his place,
Yeah.
right? But the other partners already have the experience, right? So we should
Hmm.
have a clear succession planning also. For example, how will we get the process? For example, the individual should not dictate the policy of the firm. SOP
Hmm.
should dictate the policy of the firm. This will be clear-cut SOP. For example, even the son of the senior partner should be go through that chain of working, chain of scalability. Then only he reach to the director post. When
Hmm.
this has been assured that it will give comfort to the other partners also. That the so example, the performance will be the key indicator, and you have to spend minimum time to get to for particular post. Then only the even the you are the partner, the senior you son of the senior partner will not affect the basically your position. You have to start with the scratch in the form, then only the other partner will get the confidence in the firm.
Just like in service,
Yeah,
you need to have an organizational setup, mindset
right,
in a
right,
CA firm.
right.
Hmm.
Hierarchy should be any hierarchy of that you should cross this hierarchy only, then only you can get the position,
Hmm.
right? Because ultimately senior, if you are a fresher and you are directly posted to senior partner position, it will not be a good for any particular firm, because other partner will not be comfortable with it.
Valid also.
Yeah,
Valid also. They've given considerable amount of their
time.
lifetime to a
Yeah.
particular firm, and they're more acquainted to the ways of the firm.
Even we see the big fours, we hardly know the person who are leading the firm. Matlab, every year, 3 to 4 years, we see that they have got the basically appreciation or upgraded their post. So this also, as an individual, also we want to know the growth part in our firm also. If, for
Mhm.
example, we spend the 5 years, what we'll get, 10 years, what will we get. So we should have a clear growth part as a partner also in the firm. So it will motivate us also to work closely for the benefit of the firm.
Since, sir, you've touched this topic, a very young chartered accountant asked once, like for example, that he's joined as an article. Say, I'm an
Right.
article in your firm.
Yeah.
How do I see my future in your firm, and what kind of environment you should have in your firm, even if you're a sole proprietor?
Okay.
or,
So, for
or a
example,
small partnership firm, maybe 2 or 3 partner firm. How do if I mean, what kind of culture should one have in the firm so that it sustains, it
hmm.
it passes the flow test?
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
So when one article visit the office, for example, work with the one principal, he should learn know the culture of the firm. If you are comfortable with the article, you should you give him freedom to work as a partner, even though he is not qualified right now. But you
Mhm.
can give the comfortable atmosphere. For example, if you pass the chartered accountant, after that, how we can work with you, how can engage with you, how can we have a revenue arrangement with you, how we can scale your work also with you, and how we can bring a growth path to your journey as a chartered accountant also. We
Mhm.
give that comfort to him so that we can, because we are very well versed. Large 3 years of articles is enough to judge any person. If you
Mhm.
identify that is a good resource to the person or the firm, it can add a significant value to the firm. So you get the confidence that after qualifying, we will be your partner. We will be your, for example, we can have a 2 years of assignment work. Then later on, we can move to the partnership firm. So if you give that confidence on the basis of the experience you have with this article, then it will give a comfortable part to look after the first opportunity as a you only, rather than going to the other firms, because he
Right.
must be most comfortable with you rather than other firms, and
So
you are
there's a
also
clear
more
path
comfortable.
of growth per se. There's a
Yes,
clear path growth,
yes, yes.
growth of path wherein even either the son of the owner
Yeah, yeah.
or maybe an article,
Right, right.
whosoever is joining as a fresh chartered accountant, a newly qualified chartered accountant, they precisely know what brings them till that place and how they can proceed
What is the
further.
process there? What is the process for getting that? Yeah, yeah.
Right, which is very nice, which is very nice, sir. And the red flags
No,
are
Parul ma'am, Parul
sorry.
ma'am, I have one question. Can I ask in between?
Sure, sir, please, over to you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Sir, I received one question whether I don't know whether it is totally linked with this or not. How to resolve law fees quoted in case of PSU audit through tender process? जो आज की तारीख में there is a very big problem exists in the trade. Most of the PSU and most of the other government, especially government companies, they are preferring and they are giving tender, and most of the chartered accountants are apply for that. So how we can resolve these problems? I know this is not directly with the assignment of this firm, but has been this question has been asked by some member.
Yeah. Basically, how to there's stringent guidelines or basically qualification criteria put by the various PSU, right?
Yes, yes.
Somehow it seems that a particular firm has a clear cut the tender has been designed for a particular firm. It seems like that somehow. So
This is
basically, what we have to see there, sir, that for example, I have said that you what assignment you want to get, right? And what you note down the criteria you are missing in the existing firm, right? For example, you want to serve any electricity company, say example, right? So they have mentioned that should have experience of electricity company. So I can approach to a firm, for example, Rajasthan having electricity company experience. So we should identify what are the current status of the firm, what are the missing parts in the firm to participate to become eligible for the tender, and identify the firms which can creep in or fill in that gaps which are existing on our existing firm, and then later on next year we can participate on that tender. So this is the way I think I can practical the way that we can
yeah.
approach to that. We cannot argue that it is based on the firm. Even when you see that a particular firm is continuously working for 10 to 12 years, you can definitely inform to ICI that there's a stringent guidelines due to which we are not able to even though we have a good credentials of the firm, then also we are not getting the assignment. But once I say, for example, even we cannot restrict. For example, when PSU want to place it, they place. For example, they must have a 5 partners. They must have a HO in the place, or they must have a visa qualification. So they can have a strict guidelines. We cannot restrict them, but we can identify what are the lacunas or what are the shortcomings in our firm to participate to technically competent to become that part of the tender process. So we should identify and creep in that with the partnership with the other state firm who are meeting that criteria, right? To able to participate in that tender.
So whether this part-time practitioner is allowed to merge with the, because the question is an LP with two partners, one in full-time practice and the other one is part-time practice, eligible under the ICA aggregation of LLP guidelines 2024. This is the question.
Now, Parul ma'am, if you can answer, basically.
Right, so can I have your question, please?
Yeah, please. Is an LLP with two partners, one in full-time practice and the other is in part-time practice, eligible under the ICA aggregation of LLPs
No.
guidelines 2024?
Minimum two partners, full-time COP holders.
Full-time COP. But
Yes.
after, if two partners is there, then only one part-time can join or not?
Sir, the basic eligibility is at least there have to be two minimum full-time COP holders. How many part-timers? That is not mentioned. We are quiet about it. They can have
Okay.
any number, but to be able to tap the benefit of these guidelines, you need to have minimum two full-time COP holders, and that is the requirement of any partnership firm also. A, and second, LLP Act.
Okay.
Yes.
One more question in the same line. We are ABC and LLP. Can we become partners with multiple LLP at a given time, either as a partner or either as a parent or as a partner for a different assignment? Basically, they want to ask for different assignment. Can we merge with other LLP also?
No, sir, merger is different and the LLP aggregation guidelines are different. It's not a merger. You are actually running your firm simultaneously and then you're a partner to another
Yes.
firm. This is one thing. And second, no, one at a time. You can be either a partner to somebody or you can be a parent to somebody. There is no chain mechanism that I
Okay.
become your child and you become somebody else's child and then they become, you see, section 144, what will happen?
Yes, yes, yes. You have to choose only one, either
Yes,
parent or
it is
yes.
allowed only one at a time. Either you are a parent. If you're a parent, you cannot become partner to anybody else. If you are a partner, you cannot become parent to somebody else.
Okay, okay.
It is expressly given in the guidelines, sir.
Parul ma'am, we also want to know at a ICA head office level, what are the signs you are seeing as a when you with this firm this committee is doing? What are signs you are seeing that whether all the firms are going interesting in that, or what are the numbers you are seeing? There any progress in this aggregation of the firms?
So we've got absolutely people are actually very keen for these for registering under these guidelines,
Hmm.
and we have a lot of inquiries also, and they are working because a lot of preparation has to be made, a lot of deeds and a lot of undertakings and everything. It is absolutely under process because we have received a lot of I must say. Positive feedback. I'll not say appreciation.
Okay.
Appreciation will when we'll have a big Indian firm.
Yeah, yeah.
However, we have received a lot of feedback which is very positive in nature from people who've made at a considerable level for these LLP aggregation guidelines.
Okay.
And they're very keen because, see, if there's a firm, if there are four firms who have 25 partners, say,
Right.
you don't think they're going to dissolve their firm and merge in somebody else's, but at least they can partner. So what if four firms of 25 each comes, it's a 100 partner firm. So India gets it, first Indian Desi firm.
Okay. So what
So
will be the model for that? And basically the merge, basically aggregation of the firm.
it'll be LLP aggregation wherein if I'm a firm and you're a firm, we both I can partner with a firm,
Right.
and the part and the that partner firm will get all the partners in my firm.
And for example, I just contact on the question similar to that. For example, I have merged my proprietorship firm with one bigger firm, right? And there's a clause in the ICI that after 5 years you have the option that if you want to leave that, you can have your firm name stabilized that there.
10 years. Now it has been made 10 years.
Okay, now it has been made 10 years. Okay.
Yes,
Up to 10 years. Yes.
the minimum freezing, the minimum holding period is 1 year. For example,
Okay.
if we merge this year, so for a period of 1 year, we need to hold it. We cannot demerge. Till
Okay.
1 year, we have to make all the efforts. And after 1 year, till 10 years, I can demerge.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So the name of the firm will be reserved for 10 years, right?
Yeah, it'll be freezed. Yes, absolutely.
Great. Great.
Along with the
Clearly.
seniority.
Okay, yeah, yes, that's a major concern of the partners. Basically, 5 years is the last I'm updated to know, but that's a good 10 years, a good time frame.
So a decade. I mean, what do we need more than a
Yeah,
decade to understand that we can work
It's
together or not?
working for or not? Yeah, right, right. It's working for you, not.
The
Yes.
institute has been trying so very hard. The aggregation committee is making all the efforts. In fact, various committees of ICI and everybody, the institute, from the council to the the lowest level, everybody is trying very hard to streamline the policy, to remove the bottlenecks, and we are absolutely trying to have good engagement with members like this webinar. Please
Yeah.
come up with your suggestions. What is to be done? What policy changes you need, and what ease in practice. How
Uh,
do we make your practice easy?
so we
How it
can
can be made easy?
whether we are moving to the PSUs that, for example, for LLP, we have the 5 firms we have covered and joined in LLP, for example, right?
Mhm.
So whether we have convinced the PSUs also that LLP can
Not
participate in
PS,
tender?
not PS. LLP Acts gives the thing, and CNAG and RBI knows about it.
Okay,
So,
great.
so they have been given the copies, absolutely, and there would be So I believe that this is going to come with flying colors.
So apart from that LLP, they can also work in individual firm level also.
In
Yes.
LLPs only.
Okay. No. So example for ABC and XYZ, two firms are there,
Two
and they,
LLPs are there.
two firms are there. The partnership firms are there.
So LLPs in partnership act, a partnership firm cannot be a partner to another partnership firm.
Okay. So first
It
they
is
have to form the
completely a
LLP.
target.
Independent LLPs are there, and they can join to the bigger LLP, right?
Yeah,
But
LLPs that happen to be CA firms, right?
right. So, for example, the LLP firm which is joining can also work in individual name also after that merger.
Absolutely, they continue to function independently.
Okay, great. It's
So
good for benefit all the viewers who are listening that we can work, we can convert our form to LLP, then we can join with LLP hands. And basically 10 years, you are saying that 10 years time will be there.
that is for merger, sir. That is for merger. This is
There's
LLP
no,
aggregation guideline. There is no
there,
timeline for this.
okay, there's no timeline for that. It's great. Yeah, great.
So, sir, as we come to the end of this, may I propose a formal vote of thanks if I get the permission from moderator, sir?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so on behalf of Aggregation of CA Firms Committee, I extend my sincere gratitude to all our esteemed speakers and dignitaries and participants for making this webinar a meaningful and insightful session. We are deeply thankful to our Chairman and Vice Chairman, C. Satish Kumar Gupta ji and C. Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji, for their continued guidance and support. And also my heartfelt appreciation to our speaker, C. Vikas Golcha ji, for his valuable perspectives on aggregation and collaboration for growth of CA firms. I also thank C. Naveen Vagrecha, the moderator of the session, for seamlessly steering it, and all the participants for their active engagement. And I look forward to the continued support in all the future initiatives. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
लास्ट
so
टू
much. Thank
लास्ट टू लाइन फ्रॉम माय साइड फॉर विकास
Yes.
सर। अलग अलग पहचान का अपना सम्मान है, पर साथ चलने में ही विकास की उड़ान है। एग्रीगेशन का संदेश बड़ा निराला है, और ये इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन है लास्ट की। एग्रीगेशन का संदेश बड़ा निराला है, मैं से हम तक का यह खूबसूरत सफर निराला है। वी हैव टू कन्वर्ट मैं फ्रॉम हम, तभी हम एग्रीगेशन हो पाएंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
Absolutely.
Great, sir.
Thank
Great
you.
thoughts, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.